continue. Eddie Dunbar had trauma to the left-hand side, to his hand and his wrist. And he went to the X-ray straight afterwards, and he hasn't started today's stage. Ewan Kostu had multiple erosions and a little cut on his left knee. And then Lawrence Rex also had trauma to his right finger, small finger on his right hand. So a number of different medical problems for the riders yesterday, but thankfully most of them are okay. Almeida is in the peloton for those of you just joining and worrying about him. Eddie Dunbar, unfortunately, out of the Tour de France for Jaco Alula. Just want to mention a few people who've messaged in and a couple of questions. That's a lovely bit of land art there. That's taken a lot of work. Probably a 9 out of 10 here. The farmers have gone to town this time. Very impressive. Hope your emergency waffle's good. I think this is a high scoring.
It's still actually one of the desserts from yesterday, one of those galette bretonne. I know I've been having a go at you for the banana, but yeah, this has a lot of butter. It's not good for me either. I made just a couple of wheels behind.
Yeah, and today I was very pleased that I managed to find, because I can't drink milk, some plant-based milk, and then I immediately were like, that's bad for you as well. I was really pleased with that.
Looking after you.
You are trying to get me through the 3 weeks of the tour. Few mentions. Alwyn Muirhead, hello to you, and thank you very much for your message. Anais sent me a message and said she's supporting Remco. What are Remco's chances of winning this Tour de France, or at least finishing on the podium? What do you think?
Extremely high to finish on the podium. Winning will be difficult. I think he's just a little bit below Tadej Pogacar or Remco or Vingegaard, but I definitely see him on that podium. I think he is a step above 4th and 5th placed.
He looked good yesterday.
He looks good, and we know he's also good on the very long climbs.
Remco yesterday had that kind of pedaling style that he sometimes has, where he makes it just look very, very easy. He's just touching the pedals over and really riding well.
With absolutely no facial expressions.
Yeah, exactly. Let's find out a little bit more about a rider who we know is in the action at times, Magnus Cort Nielsen.
Very mixed type of rider. Sometimes I joke about that I'm the worst climber in the peloton, but also the fastest. No, I can do a little bit of everything, but I'm not the best at anything. I have to be proud of, I've won a lot of races and then big stages and all the grand tours. This big race, it's fun. Yeah, in the end, we had things under control.
Magnus Cort Nielsen, now the Great Dane opens up. He'll have time to celebrate. The Great Dane wins in Carcassonne.
It was amazing to win a stage in the Tour de France, because that's what I've been dreaming about. I think even before I was riding a bike, I watched the tour on television.
Magnus Cort is in a perfect position, but get ready for the Dane. Magnus Cort, who's chased a stage win since we left Copenhagen.
We knew it could be a good stage for the break, so I thought take the chance, and somehow I found myself first on the top. But that was, I think, really pushing the limits of what I'm capable of.
Magnus Cort opens up the gas on the line.
It's nice that there was something left in the tank to go for it. Having the Tour de France starting in your own country in Denmark, I really wanted to do something, and therefore I'm gonna go for the polka dots. And yeah, I got them, and it turned out a lot bigger than I had imagined. The story was so good, being a Danish guy in Denmark, and one day I was alone in the breakaway, gathering points, and suddenly everybody in Denmark, they knew who it was, and I think I didn't really realize it while I was in it, but afterwards I could see how big it was. It suddenly became a kind of household name. For me, it would be another stage win. That's the most realistic, and it's so big now, so I don't think anybody is tired of winning a stage. And it's also a big ambition for the team to win a stage. I think we have been close the last 2 years. I've had some top threes, but no stage win. So we really hope to make one this year.
.3 kilometers to go. Lovely to hear about Magnus Cort Nielsen, a rider who, as he describes himself, a rider who's not brilliant at everything or anything, but good at a few things, and those things he really does use to the very best advantage. He's always a rider that we enjoy watching, because you never know if he's going to pull something off that is going to give us all something to really get excited about. Magnus Cort, 6 stage wins in La Vuelta, 2 stage wins in the Tour de France, winner of the Arctic race, a stage winner in the Giro d'Italia. So he's a member of the club of riders who have won stages in all 3 Grand Tours, double stage winner in Paris-Nice, 5 stages in the Tour of Denmark, a stage winner in the Dauphiné. He is a fantastic bike rider who has been a professional rider in the World Tour since 2014. 34 wins in his career. And you just don't know whether he's going to pull off a victory here. 32 years of age. He's got a contract with Uno X Mobility till the end of 2026. He keeps us entertained on his social media because he ranks all his hotel rooms every single night. And he's quite honest about all of those. But a rider who's worn the King of the Mountains jersey in the Tour de France and many other achievements. This is Louis Barret, a rider who crashed yesterday, and he's struggling. He lost a lot of skin, Louis Barret, yesterday for Intermarché. Crashed and lost most skin off his left-hand side, his knees, his shins, and it's good to see that he's able to continue in this year's Tour de France. He's just got to get himself through another day.
Yes, yesterday he was caught up in that final crash. He looked to be quite battered when he got up. Took him a bit of time, but thankfully he managed to get to the finish and nothing broken, just a bit of skin.
This is the thing, though, isn't it? It's about the riders. The Tour is so big that the riders just do not want to step off. They want to do everything they can possibly can to stay in position, stay with the team. They do not want to have to stop.
No, because also it's a lot bigger than what you're yourself. You're here for goal. He's helping Grima, and even if he's a little bit battered, well, he still will have a role to play. And you do not want to step off of the Tour de France. No one wants what we call a DNF in your statistics on the Tour de France. Never looks good. It's something very psychological, because it's, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a race, isn't it? But it is ultimately the biggest race, and you see in Paris, a lot of riders are all bandaged up, but you want to get there. It's important to finish.
Yeah, you want to be able to say, I rode the Tour, I finished. It doesn't matter if you finish last place or anything else. As long as you finish the Tour at the start, doesn't matter. You've done it.
Exactly, and all your career you'll be asked, oh, how many tours have you done? I say, oh, I've done 5. And then the next question is, oh, how many have you finished? And it's better off saying 5 or 4 rather than saying 1 or 2.
Yes. It's a massive thing for all these riders. The last thing they want to do is go home. They don't want to be at home watching this on television. In fact, they probably won't watch it on television if they go home. But they want to cheer the team on if they end up at home like Philipsen, for example. But the last thing they ever dream of is the fact they would spend July at home on the sofa with an injury. And that's the last thing any of us want for any of these riders. Here's Jonas. Surely it's time as he comes alongside. Yes, it is.
I wonder if the cameraman asked him to give us a kiss or not.
2:46 in the afternoon it's taken him, but he always does it every day. The Jonas Vingegaard moment of the stage. Jonathan Milan sitting up towards the front today, very focused. He knows this is a big day. There must be a lot of pressure on this rider today, knowing that at the beginning of the year, the team decided that rather than bring Mads Pedersen to the Tour, they brought Jonathan Milan. And they told both riders very early. Pedersen said, okay, and he went to the Giro and he ripped the Giro up. Really impressive. And he said, okay, I'll just do something different. I'll go on holiday with my family and I'll stay at home. And he dealt with it in the right way, a very professional way. He's got a end of life contract with the team. He can stay there as long as he wants. He can be there for as many years as he decides. But now Jonathan Milan has to deliver, surely, because otherwise there'll be the question of why did you take Jonathan Milan to the Tour and not take Mads Pedersen to the Tour?
Exactly, pressure's on, and I think this year they wanted to go for the green jersey, and obviously they felt that how the sprints were dealt last year with really high sprints. Pedersen wasn't capable of getting the top results in the bunch sprints. Unfortunately, he even crashed out on the Cavendish's stages. But apart from that, he was a bit off the pace for the green jersey. So this year they decided to go for the green jersey. That was something that the sponsor Lidl really wanted to do, and they built this Tour de France team around Milan for the green jersey. But of course, he's got a lot of pressure now.
Well, he's got the pressure in that if he doesn't get the green jersey, then he can at least say, yeah, but I won 1, 2, 3 stages, whatever it might be. But if he gets neither, that pressure is relentless.
It is, but you know, like I said, when you have that amount of pressure on your shoulders, is because you've done something good in the past, and it's also something that's agreed in your contract. So it's not like you're having pressure, and there's always a reward for that pressure. And yes, they have pressure, but it's part of their responsibilities. When
Now
you're leading a team and you're the lead contract in the team, you have responsibilities. It's pressure, yes, but it's part of your job. It's your job.
And it's the sort of pressure that those who've taken on board in their contract negotiations and all the discussions, they've put themselves in that position. That's what they want.
They want it. He wants to have the whole pressure of the world on him believing he can win. He's the first one who believes it, and that pressure stimulates him. I think I was very angry a lot of times as sports directors, and we're like, oh, we don't want to put pressure on this rider because he's too young. We want to give him time. We want to do it. And I was like, there's bad pressure, but there's so much positive pressure. Putting pressure on someone is also saying you believe in him. And I feel you can do and achieve great things under pressure. It just pushes you that bit more. When you have the responsibility of a team and you're capable of having that weight on your shoulders and being a real team leader is really exciting. I remember in my years where I was a team leader, I was giving not 100, I was giving 120%. When I was a top helper and teams expected less from me, it was easier to satisfy what the team needed. But on a personal side, it was more difficult for me to go the extra kilometer because I was doing my job right. And no one expected me to do more. But personally, I was like, I know I can do a lot more, but no one expected me to do more. Once the job was done, helping out in the sprints, helping out in the mountains. But it was always about helping out. It wasn't about me doing GC. For whatever reason, I was a team DSM. They estimated that I was getting old and they preferred me to concentrate to help the younger riders win as an investment rather than see me on the very hard world. I was a depreciating asset, I was told. So it's business. This is not a the team is only good if your striker scores goals.
Yes.
But the goalkeeper benefits from the striker putting goals. And in cycling is the same. If you're the lead-out man, you're only a good lead-out man if your sprinter wins.
Yes. Yeah,
if he never wins, you could be the best lead-out man in the world. No one would know about you.
Team radio of XDS Astana.
I tell you guys, you look so good on TV when you ride all together. Huh? They show you now. Beautiful colour, beautiful.
One of the best lead-out men in the business, Mark Renshaw, on the team radio.
Because he was also leading the best sprinter in the business, and they were a great team together.
Yes.
And it might sound funny, and you can think, oh, is he saying it for the TV or whatever? But in a way, we haven't seen Astana ride together since the start of this. So I'm pretty sure in the briefing, they will tell the guys, come on, you need to ride together. You can't be two in the front, two in the back. Ride together, be a team. So I think that was probably one of the things I was told in the briefing this morning. So it's like, yeah, it's giving them a little bit of a wink, but it's also encouragement. It's like saying, okay, I appreciate that now you're riding as a team.
And Renshaw's good at that. Renshaw is good at being in a team and helping a team because he's got that sort of personality.
Yeah, I rode 2 years with Mark Renshaw at Credit Agricole. Both of us were extremely young. And I had a great time with him. He's taught me a lot. At the time, he was beginning to be one of the top sprinters of that generation. I didn't know what I was at the time. I was helping him out in sprints at time. I was kind of going in and breakaways, doing what we call the French Cups. But I was a bit of a little Labrador, and he hammered than I was, and that he was always capable of calming me down. I had a great time living also down in south of France, and Nice is someone that I appreciate a lot.
So Mark Renshaw in the team car of XDS Astana. It's quite interesting. We've gone through the last hour or so. The sports talked about and who's in the team car. Yeah, Bernie Eisel and Renshaw together at times in their careers as well. Renshaw, Ralph Aldag, Roger Hammond, and Enrico Gasparotto. All of these guys, how they've interlinked at times in teams or races or whatever it might be. And they're all here. And they want to be here and they want to be part of it.
Totally. And what we're seeing now is also a lot of teams taking sports directors who weren't a cyclist. And we've seen already a few teams that started doing that over the last maybe 5 to 6 years, but it's getting more and more uncommon. Teams investing in sports directors who were never pro cyclist.
Ryan Cockard getting underway. A bike change, a quick change, a wheel change for him. Can he win this afternoon? He is one of the fastest sprinters. Do you think this suits him today in any way?
Kinda. He does like when it kicks. Didn't he win this this race this year? It was a bit like that. Long drag up. Costu, the most aggressive rider of yesterday, I think.
Yep, Costu was the most aggressive rider. Working his way back in. Also there. At the back is Florian Lipovitz in the colours of Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Costu just trying to get himself back into the group. He crashed, unfortunately, yesterday after being the last man standing and putting in such a great performance.
So one of the small details maybe of why Bora is still riding as Roglic as a team leader is if Lipovic was one of the protected riders, he would have a rider with him now in the back of the cars.
And he doesn't.
And he doesn't. And if Roglic stopped for a natural break, you will see he will have a rider with him. If he goes back for water, he will have a rider with him. Just to make sure to save that little bit of energy.
Here he comes back into the group.
He was actually on full bottle duties.
This is Lawrence Pitty, actually, coming back now. He must be with Lipovitz, the New Zealand rider, who is in the peloton. I know many of you are supporting this rider, making his debut in the Tour de France as he comes back into the race now. We haven't seen too much of him so far in this Tour de France, but good to see him. Two of the riders who crashed yesterday, Ben Healy, a stage winner. Let's hear now from a former stage winner, Anthony Turgis.
Yes, this is a sprint that's very similar to the ones I did last year, so it's interesting for me. From there, we'll try and be well positioned and able to sprint without getting boxed in or anything, because we want a good result in the end. First, there's a big approach before the valley, a wide road with a slight descent before hitting the last 2 kilometers. That's where positioning will be crucial. Then you need strong legs at the end. It's about hitting the right ramp at the right moment and not getting blocked to avoid having to relaunch multiple times. Hopefully, we'll have the legs to accelerate when it counts.
Anthony Turgis of Total Energy. We just saw Lawrence Pithy as well on the road to make it his debut. He'll have his birthday on stage 12 of the Tour this year. He's the 19th New Zealander, 19th Kiwi to contest the famed Tour de France. He had a good Dauphiné. His dad's following him around the route as well, and he's enjoying the fact that he's had so many messages from those at home giving him some support. So Lawrence Pithy, the rider who's in the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe colours, making his way back into the peloton. Here's Tadej Pogačar, having one of those days of sitting a little bit further back down the peloton, a bit more of a relaxed day. Just in front of him, of course, he has a teammate, Niels Pollitt. Ben Healy not too far away from him. Inside the 100 kilometres to go soon. We're almost there. Then we'll have the sprint at 85.9, and then we'll roll our way down to the climb. I think you've had an answer from Thor Hushoff, haven't you, about this jersey or this skin suit that's being worn by Stan Friedheim in the colours of Uno X Mobility. And we were trying to work out why it's got a zip down the back as we go through the next town with a population of 4,500 people. Home village of the De La Montagne brothers, Lauren and Patrick, who both played for Stade Rennais, the French national football team. Patrick won 3 caps there as we watch the peloton. So what's Thor Hushoff updated us on and that skin suit and why the zips down the back?
So first of all, hello, Nico. In fact, many of our riders have been using this suit already during the tour and previous stages, I noticed, especially on the open stages where it wasn't so warm. The main benefit of the rear zipper is that it provides an improved fit on the torso of the riders. There's a flap, a double layer opening in the front for the nature brakes. That resolves the problem we were talking about earlier on. Together with the improved fit, a lot of attention has been paid to optimal fabric selection throughout the suit for optimal aerodynamics when you're going 45 to 70 kilometers per hour. This has been carried out in the wind tunnel of our closing supplier Fusion, so very much a suit developer for high-speed sprints or breakaway scenarios. You will see riders wearing them more and more regularly, even on the mountain stages. And it's called the breakaway suit. That's how they named it.
They've named it the breakaway suit. It was good that you noticed that, because we hadn't seen it before. We hadn't really noticed that they were wearing that different style of skin suit. So they've obviously done their tests and realised for them and their riders, the better fit on the front outdoes the aerodynamics on the back.
So if you look at it, and now that it makes a little bit more sense how high the zip is and how small the zip is. So I think they must have studied where the wind comes back behind your head in that aero position on the bike to study where the turbulence hits your back and make the zip before that. So I think this explains why the zip is so short.
It's short, isn't it? Yes. Compared to previous skin suits where the zip has gone completely up the back.
You definitely need help to put that on.
No doubt. So there we are. That gives you an update on why they are wearing those skin suits, straight from the general manager of Uno X Mobility, Thor Hushoff. the Danish fans at the side of the road. Let's take a little look at this piece of social media today. Tadej Pogacar posted, winning on a wall like the Mur de Bretagne, unreal. And Remco answered, Mr. 101, with a smiley face. And UAE answered with simply stunning. You can take that in two ways, though, can't you? Because Jordi Mus has had a puncture, and another problem for the rider from Picnic Post NL. Because in the UK, if you go to room 101, you're dismissed, you're put away somewhere.
I don't think Remco has that reference.
No?
No.
Sure?
Yes.
I wonder if he's been clever.
You think so?
You never know. Because
this is the reason also, the questions we're asking you, just so Jordi Mus almost came out there, the back wheel. Had to go straight, so, well, he's on tubular still, I think. But the reason why they stop is obviously to limit the risk of crashing, especially with the tubeless tires. So just confirmed, it was Jasper Stuyven this morning who shared that information.
Oh, is it? That's what they said. So they stop immediately.
They said they don't want to take the risk with the tubeless.
And is that a rider thing or a team thing? I guess it's a rider thing.
I mean, it's 99% of the riders we've seen. Jordi is the only rider we've seen actually kind of ride with it, and his rear wheel almost slipped there.
This is Chateau de Betry that we go past now. Built as early as the 14th century. A new three-story section was added to the west in the 17th century. Renovated in 2018, it's now home to lots of private events. An historical monument. In 1995, it was listed. Biniam Ghrimay has just had a puncture as well. So a number of punctures going through that town. That looks like a beautiful place to have events. The feeling is then, if you puncture on tubeless, potentially, if you carry on riding, the tyre just completely comes off.
But also, not just that, is the tire pressure also goes really low, so you damage the rim a lot more than when you are on tubulars.
And you don't want to damage, because that's it, gone, isn't it?
Well, obviously, it's not yours as the team's, but still, it's by respect.
Yes.
Wout van Aert at the car, with the yellow numbers of leading the teams. No yet a helmet for Wout van Aert.
It's the bottles in the pockets. Jordi Mus coming back into the peloton now, behind the team car. He's a stage winner in the Tour de France, this sprinter. He's got a big opportunity today as he works his way back in on the car. 102.7 kilometers to go. The peloton still setting a decent tempo as they make their way towards Laval for the end of this 171.4 kilometer stage. We're going to hear now from Jordi Mus as he goes back into the peloton.
Well, Jordi, first of all, are you 100%?
No, I think I'm definitely not 100%. I still have some pain on the wounds and the body feels sore, but we see how the legs respond today.
What's the plan on this stage for you, for Danny?
Yeah, I think we start the day with the plan of me sprinting, and then we also have a plan B. If I don't feel well enough to sprint, then it will be for Danny today.
Biniam Ghrimay coming back now after his puncture. Hope Jordi Mus has recovered all right and can ride well in this sprint this afternoon. This is Warren Barguil coming back as well, finding his way through the cars. Not too much space around this convoy this afternoon. The pink Cadillac of EF Education Easy Post coming into line. Warren Barguil at 51 kilometers an hour as he rides his way in. Whoa. There's a lot of cars on the left-hand side of the road here, Nico.
Yeah, it's a moment where the cars are moving up. It's been probably just ask for water or punctures, but they're pushing on there. So they must have been called to the. If the cars are moving to the side, it also means that these cars have been called up by the commissaire. So they must have the rider or at the back of the car waiting for bottles.
Biniam Ghrimay gets going. All the other cars go flying past. His Intermarché team will slow things down a little on the front and make sure he gets back to the race as quickly as possible without wasting too much energy. A few other mentions. Kirsten Brown, hello to you. And I just, in case I forget, want to wish your husband Michael a happy 86th birthday for when it arrives, because I'm a bit concerned that I won't remember on the right day. I think it's in a couple of days' time. So Michael, have a great birthday. Jonas Vingegaard is coming back into the peloton now, having had a break and just behind the team car. There's not many riders with him. Also to Siobhan Tettenberg, hello to you. And Anne Galco said, Nico and I, can we recommend some books that you should read around the Tour de France or riders in the Tour de France?
Well, the one on Anthony are about to write. Can you hold for another year?
We'll get round to that one.
That was just a teaser, sorry. I don't know if I was actually allowed to say it, but it's been said now. Keep an eye out. I don't know. I don't read much cycling books, actually.
You must have one that you've read in the past.
I read my cousin's.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you like that?
Chasing Pandas.
Yeah, that was a good one, actually. Yeah.
I
read
wrote
that.
Paul Kimmicher's one, Rough Ride, as well.
Did you?
I did.
What do you think of that?
Very biased.
In one direction.
In one direction.
But an interesting read. I read it as well.
Exactly, and I read multiple books that he's written. I read one from Tony Cascarino as well. Nothing to do with cycling, but in the same style.
Yeah.
The content is always very similar, but he writes very well.
Other books? Anything else? Cavendish has got a new book out.
Oh, yeah, I saw that last week.
Called Believe or something.
Believe.
Yep.
Luke Rowe has a book out. Haven't read it, though.
I haven't read that.
That's just literally out.
I thought you'd have sent us one, don't you?
Yeah.
Because we could have had a read of that.
Are Welsh supposed to be tight, I think, no? Is that a reputation? Or is it Scottish?
Scottish.
Scottish, yeah.
It is. So Cavendish's new book is out called Believe. David Walsh and Pippa York have just released a book, which apparently is very, very good. So Pippa York, Robert Miller, now Pippa York, called The Escape. It's called The Tour, The Cyclist and Me. And apparently it's very, very good, I've heard. I've seen a review of it by Guy Andrews, who was the founder of Rouleur magazine, who's a good friend of mine. And if he says a book is good, you generally pick it up and read it, because he's read a lot of books and written a lot of books.
Actually, one book that I read this winter that just forgotten about now is from a friend of mine, Ernesto, who used to be the head manager at Victoria Tires and has now changed jobs, and we became good friends, who went on a solo trip around Patagonia. And he wrote a book about the traveling, but also the escape physically and mentally, actually, that he went through in Patagonia. So it's a bit of a cycling journey, if you like, the backpacking stuff. Nothing like the Tour de France books, but I thought it was a very interesting read.
So there's a few. I'm trying to think of other books that I've read around the Tour de France that I've thought were really good reads. Geraint Thomas's book is pretty good.
I read Laura Messenger's book a couple of years ago.
No, I haven't read that. Was it just in Spanish?
Yeah, I wonder if she's done an English version.
I don't think so far.
And then I also wrote Pasamonte's book, which was El Liderazo, which means the leadership. And again, it's a business versus cycling type of book. He does conferences now and does talks for corporates in Madrid. And he talks a lot about teamwork, but mainly his job is around leadership and how that works with, well, obviously the persons who the leadership is leading, put that way, the other employees and his management team. I thought it was a very good read as well, very interesting. When we get
round to writing our book, then we've got to live up to all of these, haven't we?
Yeah. I realize I've only written the books that I've been given by my friends who've written them, but I've supported them.
That's good. Ned Bolting's written some good books around the Tour de France. He's one of our colleagues who's a commentator. He's written How I Won the Yellow Jumper, and also a book called, I think it's 1929, which is a historic book around the Tour de France, which I believe is very, very good read. One of the best books I've read was Charlie Wegelius's book. He's the sports director at EF, and it was written by his colleague, another sports director, Tom Southam, who wrote it superbly. Brian Cockhart's had another bike change. So there's a lot of books around that you can pick up and read. Brian Cockhart just coming back into the race. There seems to be a massive amount of mechanicals and riders going back to the team car right now. Oh, sorry, 1923 is Ned's book. I thought it was 1929. I was 6 years out. 1923. And it's a book, historic book around the Tour de France, which is apparently well worth reading. I haven't read it yet, but I will do. So plenty of books that you can pick up, read, and find out something about the Tour de France. Keep an eye on our social media for when we get round to ours. Sometime soon. The peloton in the background. We're inside the magic 100 kilometers to go. On the front, the team of Intermarché Wanty. There haven't been many books around the women's Tour de France, have there? Jonathan Milan coming back.
Just thinking, I think I saw one the other day. Let me find it. And funny enough, it was in a petrol station. You know, in the French petrol stations, they always have coffee table books.
Yes.
Yes, there was one written by Vicky Carbonneau, and it was called En Danseuse, which means out of the saddle. And it was a book on all the women who's all line stones of, getting closer to the cars, about women cyclists and the very influential women cyclists over the last 20 years.
That sounds good. There's also a book that I was trying to find, which for me was a fantastic book just to flick through. It was a limited edition book which was made by Rafa, and it was called Cartes de Tour. Did you see that book?
No.
It was all the maps of the Tour de France, going back so many editions, all the maps of the route and the way that they've been designed, and the way that so you could look at the design of the route, but also the route of the Tour de France. And it's a really lovely book to have.
Speaking of Rafa, I read this winter Simon's book, the founder of Rafa, which is very good.
That's
and I
a really
was
good
very honored to have a reference to me.
Me too. I was shocked when I got to my bit in it, and I was like, wow, okay.
And he said he felt that I looked very good in the Rafa kit, and I agree with him. I loved my Rafa kit. I have to say, they did I think one kit from 2016. I mean, that's framed, actually. I haven't framed many jerseys at home, and that's one that I keep very close to my heart.
Yeah, they've done some fantastic books, and that is one of them. That book is pretty special to have and to read. Again, Guy Andrews was the main writer of that book with Simon, and they spent a lot of time being interviewed and finding out about how Simon started Rafa and then how it progressed, and linked with so many of the teams. They're one of the sponsors of EF Education Easy Post. Still on the front, Quinn Simmons. We're about 9 kilometers from the intermediate sprint already on today's stage. Thanks for prompting that little discussion, Anne Galco. I hope that's helped you a little bit with some of the books. The roads are a little bit white through here. It looks like some paint's been spilt, and it's taken a little bit of time to clear it up.
There's actually a few places like this. It'll be on the the KOM of the day. I was going to say the last KOM, but the only KOM of the day. It's very similar to this. When I arrived this morning, I was like, oh, it's all white. And that's from the people painting the road and obviously all the cars passing over it. So that's why you have them mainly on the wheel sides. Whoa, that was close from that car from Alpecin to Koenig with the Movistar car.
This looks to me like Chateau de Bois Cornille. No, it's Chateau d'Espinay, actually. Oh, yes, we get to Chateau de l'Espinay, constructed in the 16th century. This moated castle was used in an artifacts depot during the Second World War. In the Middle Ages, it was an important fortress. Historical monument listed in 1946. We're heading down to Vitre, which is listed as one of France's most beautiful detours. It's built around its castle. Your Demir's kind of come back into the peloton again. He enjoyed brilliant growth from the 14th century onwards, mainly based on the international trade in hemp cloth or canvas. One of the busiest towns. More than 70 buildings in the town are listed as historical monuments, and it's hosted Tour de France on 4 occasions. In 1985 for the start of a team time trial, and then for 3 sprint finishes, won firstly by Mario Cipollini in 1995, Marcel Wurst in 2000, and Robbie McEwen in 2006. Since 1996, Vitre, which we're heading to now, has been the host town for the Route Adelaide, which takes place in April, and its last winner in 2025 was Stan Fredheim, who's the rider that Nico noticed had the zip down his back on his skin suit. You've ridden Route Adelaide, haven't you?
I have.
Famous for Team Radio of UAE firstly.
Today, Urshka 7th place at Giro d'Italia stage. And in the GC? Wait, we still don't have info. Maybe 9th, but we will check when we'll be okay. And how was Austria? Del Toro win, 3rd, Micah.
You're catching up on the
Tadej updating on the results.
On the results
around the world. He was asking at the end of yesterday's stage, how did Urshka do in the Giro yesterday? He asked Luke Maguire immediately how she did. And he's on the radio. We obviously asked the team, update me when the Giro d'Italia stage finishes for women today. He wants to know how she's doing. And Urshka Ziga is riding very well in the Giro d'Italia right now. She's obviously targeted it, and she's done well. Sorry if you are want to watch the Giro, but Tadej wants to know the answer. We haven't told you the winner of the stage. Remco Evenepoel working his way through this group at the moment, just having a chat to the rider alongside him. This is the 92-kilometre banner, and it's Intermarché Wanty who are on the front. Not far from Vitre. Remind us then of the green jersey. We're heading to that now. This is an important part on today's stage. Maybe the only action we'll see on the stage for a little while until we get down towards the race finish.
And actually, funny enough, it's also the halfway point this morning, because we have 2 lines on our book, one with what's left and one with what's done. I was like, 85 both ways.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, there we go. So today we're going at kilometer 85, or at 85 kilometers to go, to the intermediate sprint. So these are added to the points also at the end of the stage, day after day. And the leader at the time has the green jersey, the points jersey. On intermediate sprints, the top 15 riders gets the points. So from 20 points all the way to 1 point. On the finishing line, well, depending on what coefficient the race is being, I won't say awarded, but classified, excuse me, the points will vary. On the sprint stage, it could be 50 points. So what they call sprint stage is coefficient 1 and coefficient 2. 50 points, 30 points, 20 points, 18 points, all the way to 2 points. On a more middle mountain, it's 30 down to 25, 22, always the 15 first riders in all the cases. On the mountain stages, it goes down to 20 points, 17 points. So if you win a mountain stage, it's the same point system as if you win an intermediate sprint. So this is why these intermediate sprints are very important. Points on the time trial are the same, 20, 17, 15. So exactly the same as the mountain stage and the intermediate points.
Part of today's stage so far, Tadej Pogacar is the leader of the green jersey. Jonathan Milan is in second place. Pogacar on 156, Milan on 122. So Milan needs his 20 points, and he needs also to then win the final sprint to take the jersey back. We won't even take the jersey back today, will we? Oh yes, he can.
Yeah, you need to do both though.
If he does both.
Yeah. You need to do both, and then if he doesn't do both today, maybe in the intermediate sprint tomorrow. So there is a chance that he takes it before the mountains.
Quinn Simmons, loads of work on the front. Little shake of the bottle, little small aero bottle that he's got in. And he's just dragging this peloton along. Behind, you can see on the left-hand side, Simone Consoni starting to move forward with Jonathan Milan to get into position, ready for this intermediate sprint. You may be forgiven for thinking today's stage is flat, but it's not. It's still got 1,700 meters of climbing. Nico, here's where we are in the wind direction.
Well, this is one of the parts where it's slightly coming from the left, 16 kilometers, so it's not too strong. But again, the general direction is going to that head side wind for most of the day. It'll be full-on headwind in the sprint, a little bit more sideways after the sprint, but we're going to get back into a headwind after that.
Lead out and positioning in this sprint is going to be really important then.
Yes, and timing. You see Consoni already in the front there with Milan, Merlier on the wheel of his teammate. Turgis just there as well, Coquard there beside the European champion. Have a quick chat with him.
Merlier is 7th overall in the green jersey competition. Mathieu van der Poel in 4th, Vingegaard in 5th, Turgis in 6th, Merlier in 7th. 4 kilometers now until we have the sprint. Milan getting ready. Consoni, the Olympic champion, on the track with another Olympic champion on the track, Jonathan Milan on the wheel. Quinn Simmons setting the tempo. Still maintaining this position because Milan is one of his teammates. And he wants to make sure that things are nicely lined out so there's plenty of space on the road and Milan is able to get in position easily. Grumay has got his entire squad in front of him. Kind of a dress rehearsal as well for the race finish later on this afternoon. 40 kilometers an hour, just under. Now we go up to 40. Only 3 kilometers left till the intermediate sprint.
Well, Groves, yes, he is. He's moving up there. I'm just going to ask, we haven't seen any of the riders from Alpecin de Koning today. The question was Mathieu van der Poel going to try and go for green?
I don't see Mathieu van der Poel at the moment.
No, just Zach Groves is here on the front.
Groves is there.
Doesn't look like he's got any help, actually, also.
Let's take a look and see where Mathieu van der Poel is. João Almeida still towards the back, not quite the last rider in the string, wearing number 2 there on the right-hand side in the white with the black shorts. Other riders moving up before the sprint now. We're going to turn left. Intermarché still in control. Quinn Simmons moves into 2nd place. A little bit of an acceleration out of that corner. Into Vitre now. The Bretagne Ladies Tour has also finished here in Vitré as Marta Lach won there in 2022. The sprinters starting to find their position as we come up to the next roundabout. A group of riders go left and try and move themselves up. The yellow jersey of Tadej Pogačar moves up towards the front of the peloton with a couple of his teammates putting him into position. Intermarché get ready. The team of Lidl Trekker there. Alpecin Koenig. I'm just looking for Mathieu van der Poel. Groves is involved. Groves is 16th overall with 40 points. Average speed so far, 41.58 kilometers an hour. Moving up on the right-hand side, looks like Bittner of the Picnic Post NL squads. Tim Wellens moves up. Pogačar on the left-hand side.
Yeah, he's moved up a bit more focused there, as you can see the points again on the right. Just because you often notice that after the intermediate sprints, sometimes some riders over the last couple of years have tried to attack and surprise the peloton. We're also halfway through the race now, so if you're going to use a bit of energy, it's not better doing at this point than after for 150 kilometer or 170 kilometer stage. Yeah, proper lead out from the team of Wanty Intermarché.
It is. We're only a few hundred meters now from this intermediate sprint as Intermarché get ready. Biniam Ghrimay is on the wheel to get set to try and beat Milan. There's a little bit of bumping and barging as Quinn Simmons moves up on the right-hand side, but it is Jonathan Milan. Tim Merlier is there going for the sprint. Merlier moves on the right-hand side. Turgis is there, but Milan makes it look very easy. Ahead of Tim Merlier, Turgis and Biniam Ghrimay. Easy sprint for Jonathan Milan.
Easy sprint. It almost looked like the riders didn't really commit. He's looking behind already. Turgis on the wheel, Merlier on the right.
Jonathan Milan scores the 20 points. That puts him on 142.
It was funny. I really think the riders were thinking about the finish today. Milan, when he went and he was looking to see if someone was going to challenge him, and this is exactly what I was thinking. We're saying, like, sometimes after the intermediate sprint, especially when it's close to the finish, well, you have a bit of an opportunity. And also, 85 kilometers of racing is doable. When you're alone against a bunch for 170 kilometers, that's impossible.
Yes.
So some riders are a little bit more motivated to get active on the final part of this course. And the road is not totally flat. Unfortunately, sometimes you can literally see 3 or 4 kilometers ahead. And that's a killer when you're in the bunch and in the breakaway. There's another attack there by the rider of Total Energy, but Marc Soler moving up the front, in control. It's like, no, if you want to go, you have to go harder than that. I'm going to close the gap on you.
Yep, they close the gap nice and easily. Quinn Simmons closes the gap. It's all back together. They do not want any breakaway today.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is. It's quite special, isn't it? The chateau here. Second half of the 11th century, it was built by Robert I of Vitré. First, there was a wooden castle on that particular area, but over time, it was built into the most incredible chateau. It's now a museum, founded in 1877 by Arthur Lemoyne de la Borderie, a local scholar who was the first historian of Brittany. Today, the town hall is located in that castle as well. Here's confirmation that Jonathan Milan took the sprint ahead of Tim Merlier, Turgis and Ghrimay, with Lawrence Rex in 5th place. There's the riders who were all up towards the front. Still João Almeida in position at the back of this peloton, quite happy to just roll along and get himself to the finish.
Nihiri at the back of the peloton. Good to read that he wasn't injured from yesterday. He was caught up in that crash, took a bit of skin off while he broke the skin suit, but seems to be okay. Nothing in the communique about his health.
No, it's good to see that he hasn't had any major issues. We're heading to Laval. It's the third time after 1999 we've headed here. Tom Steele's won here in 1999, and the time trial of 2021 was taken by Tadej Pogačar. We've mentioned already that Robbie McEwen won in Vitre. We've just gone through. Yesterday was Tadej Pogačar's 19th stage win at the Tour, reaching Francois Faber at the 7th all-time spot. He's the third rider with at least 2 wins in his first 6 tours after Nicolas France and Eddy Merckx. Today's 42nd Maillot Jaune, just 2 less than Bernard Hinault at the same age. .7 kilometers to go. Here's the maximum speed in that sprint, and the last 500 meters shows it wasn't rapid, 60.7 in comparison to other sprints.
Yes, comparison to some of the sprints that we've seen this week, which were a lot higher, close to 67, 70 kilometers, even 75 in Lille.
Once we head out of Vitre now, and the riders have got 82 kilometers to go, why don't we have a little think about what we might conjure up for dinner this evening? If you are following Nico's recommendations, he's been putting them on his social media at the end of every stage, bar one when he forgot and put it on the next morning. But apart from that, you'll have been able to update every day on what his menu is and his menu recommendations. And the number of messages you get about it is incredible. So thank you for all your messages. What is for the menu this evening?
So in France, it's very common to have your cheese as a starter and not only as dessert. Depending on the culture, you often see cheese as dessert, but it's very common to also have it as a cheese platter as a starter. Well, here you have it as a starter, and the cheese would be Le Bon Mayennais, obviously being the region of Mayenne, which is a very old style, rustic style camembert, and has been produced here since 1912. The other classics here include the Tome de Closier, the Saint-Friac, and the Port Salut. All small production cheeses here in this region. So they're not some of the big exportation cheese. It's smaller local cheese. But if you're around, please try it. La tourte mayonnaise. So this is strange because I looked it up and it's a very recent dish. And then I was like, now discontinued. It's like, how is a dish discontinued?
Yeah, why?
So it was invented in 2015 by the local chef Fabrice Sorin and Alexandre Arnaud. It's a savory pie with beef, entremets cheese, and apple.
Beef, cheese, and apple?
Yeah.
In the same pie?
But apparently, so it was copyrighted and it was owned by these 2 chefs. Right. And apparently, unfortunately, the business closed at the start of 2025. So no one's continued doing this recent recipe.
So you can't go home and cook it?
Oh, you can. But you couldn't buy their original pie.
Right, okay. So go home, get beef, cheese, and apple, and put it with a gravy or what? Must be a gravy. Big attack, Total Energy. Let's just take a little look here as they decide to go on the move. They've decided they're fed up with what's going on in the peloton this afternoon. I think it's Bergado as one of these riders who's going clear for the team of Total Energy. And as Nico said, when you've only got 80k to go, it's a different situation. They check around over their shoulder to see if there's any reaction. There's a little bit of a reaction from Intermarché Wanty. But is it Verchet and Bergado, by the looks of things, who've just attacked? Good little move by these 2 riders. 5 seconds already. putting in a big move. So Verchet, 61 kilometers an hour off the front. Just trying to see who the two riders are. It is Verchet, and I'm pretty sure it's Bergadeau off the front. Big attack of these riders. They've been thinking about it, haven't they, for a little while since the intermediate sprint.
They want to try something, and we talked about it earlier.
He likes to be in that sort of situation where you go clear and you try and outwit your opponents. So now it's down to Quinn Simmons and the team of Intermarché to bring this back. These two riders deciding this is the terrain, a little bit more lumpy now for them to go away. Right, let's come back to your meal of the day.
Well, this region is les escargots de Limero, and they're usually done with a bourguignon sauce or with butter and herbs, and they're often used as a starter. They usually do plates with 6.
Yeah, that's 6 too many for me, I'm afraid. Do you like them? I can't remember if you like them or not.
I've had them growing up in Paris. It was a traditional Christmas dish. I wasn't a fan of them, but I wasn't allowed to leave the table if I didn't have them, so
you had to have them.
I had a hard childhood.
Then for me, they're just why? Why would you eat them? I don't understand.
I mean, they're not the ones you just pick up on the street, but or in the fields more than the street.
No, but where are they from? Where do you find them?
Farms.
So they're farmed as snails to eat. Okay.
There with the center aisle when the peloton will be arriving around that corner.
It might be a little bit of a surprise that they come into that corner and see how tight it is, particularly when they're chasing these two riders, Bergadeau and Verchet. The peloton looks like it's pretty safe around that corner. Some riders going to the other side, having just outrun that corner itself. Okay, snails you're not selling to me, no. But they could also always make the pie, I suppose.
You would like this, the trout. Smoked trout.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done over wood fire.
Very nice. They had trout for lunch today in the catering. It was very, very good.
Did they?
Yeah. One of our colleagues, Matt Keenan, he recommended it. Said you had to have it. So we had it, and it was very good with almonds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Baked with almonds, really tasty. Very nice. And it is local trout.
Coming in towards the desserts, le petit beurre mayonnaise. And again, this is a recipe that was done in 2014 by chef.
Team radio quickly. That's a quite direct message to the Total Energy team, because earlier you saw Bergadeau attack. Quinn Simmons just brought him back straight away. Then the counter attack.
Yeah, there's always this peer pressure from the big teams over the smaller teams. Intimidation, whatever sports, always works. So most likely when they tried to go, they also tried to go with not a very convincing attack, to be honest. Yeah. And it was very easy for Quinn Simmons to close the gap. This attack was a proper attack. They went to them, they committed a little bit more, and they're not giving them much chance, 16, 20 seconds. But yes, it's like the sports director said, it is their right to try and do their own race. It's not because you have two teams in the front controlling that you have to let them control all day long. And you also need to assess how much energy your two riders are losing in the front when the peloton's playing with you at 15 or 20 seconds. But why not? It's giving us something to talk about. It's less than 2 hours of racing to go, and you just never know. And like I said, it's also... I always said, you know, why just sit in and wait for your turn? Why don't go up the front? It's being on the Tour de France, again, it's a different race. When the crowd welcomes the first rider of the Tour de France, it's a massive cheer. It's great.
but also the fact that there's a combative rider award at the end of the afternoon for a team to be on the podium. And why shouldn't a team carry out their plan? And this demonstrates yet again the role of the sports director to say, guys, right, come on, we can get up the road. Let's have a go. Let's see if we can light the race up a little bit, see what happens. You never know.
Exactly, and relatively speaking, we're still close enough to where the team's from. Jonas Vingegaard in the cars must have stopped for a natural break, being brought back by Feeney.
Vingegaard coming back quickly.
I'll talk about my dessert later.
We'll come back to the dessert because we're going to just very quickly have a little look back in history, and then we'll talk about dessert straight afterwards. The small town of Saint-Main-le-Grand will always be associated with the great Louison Bobet, the first man to win the Tour de France 3 times in a row. The race's only previous visit came in 2006 for the start of stage 8. It was a punchy outing to Lorient, which would end up going to the breakaway. Victory on that day went to Sylvain Calzati, the winner of the Tour de l'Avenir in 2004. The Frenchman going solo from the break to land his first and only professional victory.
If you want to have one victory, might as well be a stage of the Tour de France.
Absolutely.
It's actually funny, there's been quite some riders who've had one single victory.
Yeah.
And it's been on the stage of a Grand Tour.
Yeah, and you can talk about it forever. It's a big day. It will always go down in history, and you can always recount that story. 22 seconds for Verchet and Bergerot, 2 teammates now on the attack, trying to build their advantage, having attacked not long after the sprint. They go through the feed now. And as we talk about feeding, what's for the dessert?
Well, the petit beurre mayonnaise. So it's very close to what we've had yesterday, the little galette bretonne. So it's a butter-based biscuit. But apparently here they use a special egg from the city of Saint-Algon-de-Coupon. And apparently it gives a richer flavor. I don't know how these special eggs get richer flavor, but anyway, that's how they claim their local biscuits.
Okay.
In terms of drinks, well,
You've been testing those out, though.
Yeah, I have 2 in front of me.
Yes. Just sat there, just in case.
Yeah. I had one, and when they brought me my coffee, they just added the next one, so I don't think I'll eat both.
Okay.
And, well, we're still close enough to where we were yesterday, so once again, apple cider. And apple cider.
Just apple cider.
Apple cider.
Apple cider, the order of the day in this particular region then. So there's quite a lot of variety.
Yes, there's a little bit, another dish called the Rio, which is a slow-cooked pork belly. That's nice.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Prune pate.
Okay.
So that's, and but it's made as a savory pastry.
As a pastry?
Yeah.
That sounds quite good as well. There's some quite interesting stuff to be taken. Tonight we're going to go to Châteauroux, which is a different region, isn't it?
Yes, and we're quite a bit of a transfer, so we might see something totally different because we're still very Apple-based.
Yeah, at the moment we're very Apple-based. We're going to Cavendish City tonight.
I'm looking forward to going to grape-based.
15-kilometre-an-hour winds. So if you would like to see Nico's menu of the day, then please go on his social media, have a little look, and he will post that as his menu and what he recommends. And many of you have been getting involved in that and sending us your photos of your particular menu, what you decided to make. Last night's dinner, I get so many messages. Where do we go for dinner? We went into Laval, went to a little restaurant that Andy, who's the head of the team radio team, found, which he generally does. I found a restaurant one night, but it was a disaster. So now everybody's not letting me do that anymore. So Andy's getting them the various restaurants. We went there last night, had a really nice dinner.
But you know what? That night of the tapas place, the food wasn't great, but I had some important meetings that I met people that were there, so it was actually a good night for me.
It was a good night, wasn't it?
It was, and we had a good chat outside, and the lady was very friendly. Just a tortilla wasn't really tortilla.
No. And when you've team radio of Total Energy, let's hear what they're saying now.
Allez, c'est parfait, les gars. Nous, on honore la course. C'est bien, du caractère comme ça. C'est bien, les gars.
Well, the sports director of Total Energy is happy.
He's happy, and I think his keywords were there were honoring the race, whereas like, okay, yeah, we all understand that it's modern cycling that wants a flat sprint stage. Why would you go in the breakaway? But also, like I said, why not? Physically, it makes no sense to be in the breakaway. But I think the word he used there is like, for the respect of the organizers, for the respect of the Tour de France, let's at least try and animate it. It's a totally different point of view, and I think it's a very good point of view. I don't think sports is about giving emotions, and a lot of times it's not about just how much energy you're saving or if it makes sense.
These two riders working well. 29 seconds. They've now grown the lead to. So, yeah, last night we found Laval is a beautiful little town. It's really clean, little cobbled streets, beautiful riverside. And we found a little restaurant last night, which is the loudest restaurant I think I've been in for years.
Yes.
But they were cooking away as we go past Chateau de Plessis, which was constructed in the 15th century in a neo-Gothic and Renaissance style. But the chefs were there, we could see them cooking, the food was really nice, and it was dessert night as far as we were concerned, so we had dessert. Let's hear from Jonathan Milan.
This is in the end the goal for this tour to arrive in Paris on top of this point classification. But yeah, in the end, it's a super good stage for me, and it's also tomorrow. But as we said, focus on today, and then we will see in the end of the stage.
Today is a good stage for you, but it's a difficult finish. It's slightly uphill. You like that?
Yeah. I quite like this kind of uphill finish, and there are something particular. Let's say we have to really be careful with the momentum to where we have to go out and where we have to spend, let's say, our best energies. But it will be tough, but I like this kind of finish.
And also stay out of trouble, stay out of potential crashes.
Yeah. Hopefully will not happen nothing, but it will be always super important to take the last kilometers in the front. And we are really supported good with my teammates, but I think we will go at nice work today.
Jonathan Milan, favourite or one of the favourites for today's stage. Can he take the stage victory this afternoon? Can he finally get across the line first? A big day ahead for Jonathan Milan as a sprinter. He wants that green jersey in Paris as well. That's the objective we've been talking about. He's sitting up towards the front. He's focused and he's intent. 68 kilometres of racing remain. We go up one climb today. That's at 17.3 kilometres from the finish. And apart from that, it is all about the run down to the end of today's stage. We're in Jean-sur-Sèche. This church dates back to the 16th and 17th centuries. Listed as an historical monument in 1926. We're going to go into the department of Mayenne in the Pays de Loire region now. And the main town in this Mayenne department is Laval, where we finish today's stage. Laval is known for the Festival of the Three Elephants, which is at the end of May, and two contemporary music festivals each year that bring about 15,000 spectators. Earlier on, I just wanted to finish. We talked about the Route d'Adler, the race that you've ridden. It was introduced to me the other day. I didn't know the race as the ice cream race. Is that the one?
It is, yeah. I wasn't aware of it, so I haven't remembered. I did these races in my first year as professional with Cofidis and then Credit Agricole. so more than 15 years ago. And when he said it, I was like, yeah, I remember, but I'd totally forgotten.
Luis Angelmonte remembers it because he rode for the Cofidis team. It was a race he rode on a few occasions, and he said it's called the ice cream race because it's sponsored by an ice cream company and it's well known for it. All the sixes, 66.6 kilometers to go, 31 seconds for our two leaders, Verchet and Bergadeau. They decided to attack after the sprint. Mathieu Bergadeau is a stage winner in Paris-Nice in 2022. And he's riding well in this race. Bergadeau just trying to build the lead with Verchet, his teammate. Bergadeau is 26 years of age. Winner also of the Tour of Istanbul and second on a stage in the Tour de France in 2023, behind Jonas Aguirre into Belleville-en-Beaujolais, ahead of Matteo Jorgensen. There's our camera operator just picking up the pictures. Lots of kit on the back of that bike. Well, we've been talking about sprints and the safety of sprints for a little while. As we go past the Church of Saint Martin, let's take a little look at this feature about safer sprints.
Safer or Safe Road Cycling is a body that aims to ensure safety in pro road cycling, a joint effort by organisers, team riders and the UCI. Its goal to maintain the drama but minimise the dangers.
Cycling is certainly a spectacular sport. There's certainly a long history and tradition, but if you were to look at a finish of the Tour de France 50 years ago to today, in terms of safety, it's obvious that big improvements have been made where the spectacle has, if not gotten better. So SAFER works across 5 main pillars, the first one being the regulations, such as the adjustment to that 3-kilometer rule. So it's now possible to extend it to 5 kilometers.
This is where now, if there was a crash, everybody would be given the same time. Crash on the right-hand side.
Maybe.
Problem for Remco Evenepoel.
Yes, Remco, the shorts are torn.
He's crashed.
The idea of extending this sprint zone is to let the GC guys sort of fade out to the back and let the sprinters sprint.
Philipsen moves. Jasper Philipsen now fires. Philipsen goes for glory.
I think it's a good idea, and for the sprinters it means you have other sprinters to your right and left rather than the GC riders, who in those final kilometers can bother you a bit. You don't want to make them fall, but you also want to win.
Unfortunately, it's totally, for the moment, it's totally impossible to avoid any single crash, but we try to improve and we try to reduce the level of the incidents.
Oh, Philipsen crashes. The green jersey is down.
We did a lot of different things, different topics from the beginning. Probably the most mediatic one has been the yellow cards.
Yellow card system, and it's something that allows the commissaires to issue yellow cards to incidents that are related to safety, and it's not just riders. That's the key point, that it's all license holders.
La règle en soi, elle est très bien.
Well, the rules are really good. It's good to try and limit any dangerous behavior. I think all those who receive a card will look to improve their positioning.
This has also changed the way the riders are sprinting and the line that they keep and just keeping it safe as possible within the group. So there's definitely been a shift of mentality with this.
When there's a desire to do everything better and more safely, I think that direction is a good thing. But there's tension. You always want to win, and not your rival, so it's complicated.
62.5 kilometers to go. Two leaders, Verchet and Bergado, two riders from the team of Total Energy, working well together. Verchet is this rider, number 188. Bergado on the other side. Bergado is the rider who's won a stage in the Paris-Nice. Two quite similar riders in terms of style and the position on the bike. Working well, building their lead now towards a minute. So they're working hard to try and at least grow their advantage. And wearing those jerseys as a nod to the Peugeot team of the past, with a checkerboard style, and of course their team owner, Jean-René Bernadotte.
They're in their homeland today as well, the team from Vendée in this region.
Just to come back to that feature we just saw, I don't know about you, I found that very interesting. And to see around the table talking about the safety of the riders, some people who are very well known within the sport and have got a lot of experience. So Adam Hansen, who holds the record for the number of Grand Tours ridden in a row. Adam Hansen, who's now the head of the riders organization. This is Buitrago, who's trying to get through the stage as well after a big crash of yesterday. Him and João Almeida, a lot of injuries after their crash. Buitrago apparently has got hardly any skin on his back at all. As we just look at this bit of land art, that's a clever use of chairs. That's at least an 8 out of 10. But Adam Hansen in that video, Brent Copeland, who's the head of the team's organization, Matthew Knight, who's been at the UCI for a long time as their head of racing, head of sport, also did a period of time in the anti-doping organization as well. But it is important, isn't it, to keep talking and trying to find methods to make this sport safer.
Yes, totally. And I think the final words of Arnaud Delis were very interesting. It's complicated. If it was as easy as that, it'd be done.
Yes.
And it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take time that riders adapt to these new rules, following these new rules. But it's definitely going in the right direction. But it's complicated because there's so much at stake when you're trying to win a bunch sprint that, again, as Arnaud Delis said, you just risk it. And as long as riders are ready to take a risk, well, there's gonna be drama at some point. It's normal in a way.
I would think also that riders, as long as they feel like the organization has done its very best to be as safe as they possibly can, there is still the risk element will always be there.
I mean, there's crashes on a straight line, so it's very arguable, and sometimes this is why it's a very, very complex scenario, sprinting, because sometimes the Tour de France or somewhere, the race organizers will need to put corners to slow down the sprints in the final line, because we've had some of the most dramatic crashes on a straight line going at 60 odd km/h. And this is when you start breaking a lot of bones. For example, it is dramatic. So the Tour de France always try and puts a little bit more technical finish. But obviously what means technical means fighting for position, which with a very strong peloton means there's more people capable of fighting for position at very high speed. So then you have crashes anyway. And when you see the other day, the riders, they crash in a breakaway with two on the road. So it's going to be complicated. And I think it's about riders also realizing that what they lose when they crash.
Yeah, they lose form, they lose races, they lose race wins, they lose opportunity. It's difficult. And all you hope is that the 58.7 goals here from Dylan Groenewegen.
Yeah, it was hectic, crazy races. Yeah, everybody is is flying in every day. So yeah, that's nice to see, I think, on the television. But in the race, it's hard, but I think I recover really well.
This final, the last kilometers, that sprint is slightly uphill. Does it suit you? Yeah, it's a bit like a lot of turns in the final with some roundabouts, a bit up and a bit down. Also with the roundabout, it's a bit up and then you go to U-turn back down. Then you have again the two roundabouts. Yeah, it's again all about in good position, and then yeah, good timing is really important, I think, on this finish. It will be hard, but I think it's yeah, it's possible.
Dylan Groenewegen looking for his 7th stage win in the Tour. He's already got 6 under his belt. Can he produce the win this afternoon as we go into Laval? We first visited here in 1999 when Tom Steels won the stage. Let's see how this sprint, if it is a sprint, goes. We've got 2 riders on the attack, building their advantage now to 55 seconds. Intermarché Wanty are the team who are doing all the chasing right now. These 2 riders, if they can get over a minute, up to a minute and a half, then things will start to look better for them. They need to get a little bit close to the finish. See João Almeida, even around the shoulder area, you can see the blood just coming through the jersey a little bit. So it shows that those injuries are seeping a little bit, that he's not necessarily having an easy day of it. He seems to be a little bit better, talking away with Pogacar, who's right at the back of the peloton again to have a chat to João Almeida, help him come through, help him get to the finish line. Buitrago's got to be similar. He'll have a rider with him as well. Not as much spotlight on Buitrago, but he is having to deal with what João Almeida is dealing with as well this afternoon. He's seen Jack Haig have to leave the Tour de France. There's a lot of riders nursing injuries. We're into Ballot. 1,300 people live in that little town. Ballot is the home village of Jackie Durant. Both his parents were farmers here. He didn't win much as an amateur, being neither a climber or a sprinter, but he was a formidable rouleur, specialising in long-distance breakaways. Remember the Tour of Flanders in 1992, which he won after a 217-kilometre breakaway. First with Thomas Wegmuller, and then he went solo. He also left his mark on the Tour de France. He won the prize of fighting spirit in 1998 and 1999. He won 2 stages of the Tour, one in 1994, but in 1995 he won a victory in the prologue. He held on to the yellow jersey for 2 days because there was a big change in the weather. He went early and he ended up winning the prologue. He also held the leader's jersey in the Vuelta in 1999. He won Paris Tour, stages of Paris-Nice and the Dauphiné. And he is a very respected colleague of ours as a consultant in cycling. Jackie Durant, we're going into his home village. He did a lot, didn't he, as a bike rider?
Yeah, renowned for his long breakaways, as you mentioned.
Very famous for a long breakaway.
Whoops. A lot of road furniture on the roads today.
There is, isn't there? Huge amount.
Every village has a little bit of a speed breaker. Roundabouts, those chicanes, other curves as well. I'll have a look at Michael's store.
So a small little town with a church of Saint Martin as we go past that, rebuilt in the 19th century. I've enjoyed some very funny moments with Jackie Durant in the commentary box in my career. He's hilarious.
How's his English?
Sorry?
How is his English?
His English is good, actually. Yeah. Very good. He likes to play golf in the mornings as well. So if you're ever on a race with Jackie Durant, he likes to go and play 9 holes of golf or something before the stage starts. So I've been out for a run in the morning, seen him putting his golf clubs in the car. Off he goes. But also very well known for going to race starts and just going around and looking and noting down the shoes of riders, the glasses they're wearing and everything else, so that when he got into the commentary box, he knew exactly who the riders were, what might happen on that stage, did his preparation perfectly. There's a big white jersey lying there in the field, which is an initiative by CRIS to support students struggling academically and highlights the work they're doing there. We'll talk about that in a moment after this little feature. It was only 4 years ago that Laval last hosted the tour for the end of the Stage 5 individual time trial. Tadej Pogačar began the day 39 seconds down on the race leader, Mathieu van der Poel. He didn't do quite enough to snatch the yellow jersey, but he still won the stage by 19 seconds from Stefan Kung. Pogačar stormed to the top of the leaderboard 3 days later in the Alps and remained in total control until Paris, where he claimed his second overall victory. 53.6 kilometers to go, still 51 seconds for our two riders in the breakaway. What was the initiative we were talking about a moment ago? We just saw that big white jersey. It symbolizes solidarity, solidarity initiative. And actually, it's the 5th time on the Tour de France that CRIS are one of the Tour's major partners, the sponsor of the white jersey. So you can support them and join them in their mission to help young people in partnership with the Student Foundation for the City Association. If you look at CRIS's social media, you can find out how to support the cause of L'Étape en Blanc by CRIS. Mauro Schmidt. Mauro Schmidt has got a gilet on. Or is it a water bottle carrier?
It's a nice vest, I think.
Ah, okay.
Is it a nice vest? I think it is a nice vest.
Harry Sweeney enjoying a little fizzy drink.
Gap around, well, just under a minute, 52 seconds from our two leaders. And this is more or less what we're going to be going through the next, 40-odd kilometers. Long, straight roads. The peloton sees all the motorbikes, sees the cars of the breakaway. And it's not an easy one for the breakaway because at this point, the team's car has not been allowed to go. So they've not been able to ask for a bottle, for example, or ask for extra food. So I hope they've got extra staff on the side of the road, an extra feed, as they call it. Because if it's not over a minute, the commissaire will not authorize the team car of Total Direct Energy to go up to the front.
Yeah, so they've got to wait, and that's not good news. Let's hope, as Nico said, that they can feed the riders. Good to see Matteo Verchet having recovered from his crash and now back in this leading group of riders. He's finished second on a stage of the Tour de France last year. Bergado's not won a stage of the Tour. And for Verchet, it would be the biggest win of his career if he could pull this off. Same for Bergado. He has won a World Tour race in Paris-Nice, but to win a stage of the Tour de France for either of these riders would be a massive moment in their careers. So we'll see whether it's possible that they can go all the way to the finish. The sprinters teams will ensure that they don't, but you never know. There's always a chance that something happens and these two riders try and go all the way to the race finish. It does look like there's a number of teams, though, who want to control everything and make sure that there is a bunch sprint without any doubt whatsoever. 48 seconds. Here's our two leaders. They're having to work so hard into still a headwind, Nico?
Yeah, still a headwind. It's a little bit from the left-hand side. It's 3/4 headwind. And when we get about 35 kilometers to go, it's a full headwind.
And that's why then Bergado is sitting slightly to the right-hand side, the left-hand side as we look.
Exactly, and this is why in the peloton, they're on, again, on the other side of the road, opening up. From the flag here, it looks quite headwind.
another one of the favourites for today's race is Tim Lear. Let's hear from him now.
The finish, can you talk to us about this finish? It's slightly uphill. It's not the typical sprint. What can we expect?
Yeah, first of all, technical final, I think, from like 10 to go, really hectic, I think. And then an uphill finish with 2 roundabouts in the last 2 kilometers, so the speed will be gone. But normally it's a finish line who fits me well, yeah.
Because you like launching your effort early. We saw you in the past. It could really suit you.
Yes, and it's all about power also, so it's something I like, yeah.
Did you recover from the last 2 days? Because that's also going to be in the balance.
I would say we need to see it's already the 8th stage, so we will see what the legs say.
Well, this morning in our pre-race meeting, he was definitely one of the favorites when we start giving our predictions about the stage. So every day when we do a little meeting in the morning, we give our favorites and we have our own point system. So far, actually, I think Milan was probably the most. He was probably second most, and obviously being Grumay. Groenewegen was also one of the names that was given this morning. So let's see who wins it from our team. He's just under 50 kilometers to go. Quinn Simmons getting a little bit of help now. It's been already it's 130 kilometers, more or less, that he's been in the front, working with the other rider from Intermarché. But you could just see a lot of the teams now starting to get a little bit more focused, starting to see some of the GC teams moving to the front. On the far left of the screen, you can see already the Visma Lisa bike team with the red helmet there of Vingegaard sitting in second position on the wheel of Affini. It's important to get focused. 50 kilometers to go is always one of those marks where in the radio say, okay, let's regroup. Today it's an easy stage, but we still need to be at the front coming into the finish. Let's regroup around kilometer 50. Yeah, it's hot today. 30 plus degrees is the feeling. So again, because they're not allowed to have the car, because they don't have a minute, well, thankfully you have these Vital motorbikes that will be able to give the riders, that's the red bottles there. It's plain water, it won't have electrolytes, it won't have any other team stuff, but it's more than enough at this when there's nothing else. But I was surprised that they actually had ice. I think this is the first time I've seen these neutral water bikes give ice. So it's good that they've added this little extra feature. I'm sure some of the riders will love that. And it looks like the wind's slightly changed now. It looks like it's coming from the left. Oh yes, it is, because we're going to turn into the left again, into the headwind. In about 10 kilometers, the riders will turn left into that headwind. So yes, it is coming from the left. And this is again why he's slightly to the right-hand side of the bike. And the gap coming down now, just because of the team starting to, well, one, new riders got to the front of the peloton, a lot fresher legs. They don't really need to close the gap on these two riders. It's not really a threat as long as they keep them under control. As we see here, the Château de Craon. It was built in 1770, and it's a classical, neoclassical style, built between 1773 and 1779 to the design of the architect Père Pomerol by the masons from Limousin and Anjou for the Marquis Pierre-Ambroise de la Forêt d'Armaillet. Having become one of the largest landowners in Anjou, he divided his time between hunting in Craon and Parisian society life, frequenting the Salon of Comtesse de Barry and owning a box at the Comédie Française. In January 1790, the Marquis abandoned his chateau to the revolutionary troops and took refuge in his Parisian hotel. The fighting took place at the chateau between the Chouans and the Republicans. The Marquis's descendants sold it in 1828 to Guillaume de Champagny, whose family remains owner onto
Crash,
Helen. Oh,
crash, one rider down. Marc Soler hits the deck.
well
Sorry,
spotted
Nico.
there. I was in my notes, head down. Literally like on the bike. That's why crash happens, yeah.
Yeah, not good news for UAE Team Emirates XRG that another rider hits the deck.
There you go. You could just see here the little lip where the road furniture is, right in the middle of the road.
Let's just take a quick look. It might get a replay, but Soler won't be happy that he's hit the deck here. Not good news. He's back at underway. 46.1 kilometers to go. Jared Drisner's coming back into the peloton. Sorry, I ruined your story about Crayon Castle.
Yep, so it's been, it's been owned from the family of the Guillaume de Champagny from 1828, and it was eventually sold. My nephew passed away in 19...
UAE having a little bit of bad luck at the moment. Soler doesn't look like he's too cut or anything after that fall. But just another one of those moments that he's just checking to make sure he's okay. He's just checking the shorts, checking the knee. He's just suddenly realised what damage is done. We haven't seen a replay of that crash. And the rest of the team, they don't want to be falling like this. All these little injuries can be difficult in the last week of racing. The most important thing for Soler is get back on the bike, get back in the peloton as quick as possible.
Yeah, he didn't even bother with the bottles. He will pick them up now. The car's in front of him. It's by getting as quick as possible in the peloton. And that gap going down now, 35 seconds, 36 seconds. I'd say we're just about an hour of racing left.
It's going down very quickly, isn't it?
I wouldn't say very quickly.
Or steadily.
Steadily. And Joe Almeida still at the back of the bunch. He's wanted to try and stay out of trouble. Again, I think once we'll see the final acceleration, he'll probably just drift off. There's no problem for him with the time limits today. It's loads of time. So even if it sits up about 20 kilometers to go, probably won't. I think he's trying to hang in there at about 15. And then once we start getting into Laval and it gets a little bit chaotic, he might start sitting up. Again, loads and loads of road furniture on today's stage.
And it just gets worse, doesn't it? The road furniture on the run-in.
Well, yes. Once we get into Laval, there's a lot of road furniture in the final 6-7 kilometers. But every single vintage has its own little traps. Just to be extremely cautious. And he's still looking down at his knee.
Yeah, he's checking it. Because there's no damage on his left-hand side at all, is there? We just haven't been able to get to the other side of him and see what damage there is. He's just checking with the team car. He still needs some. Here we go. There is a little bit of damage on that right knee. He keeps checking the elbow, the knee, all of the time.
They forgot to close their petrol trap.
They did.
Quick seven back in front.
Yeah, he's going well. He's had a good day. He's been on all of the time. He looks around. He's got one teammate there as well. This is La Touche race course.
That's probably Thibaut Nice.
Capacity of 20,000 seats here in grandstands, 129 boxes, 42 stalls, as well as on-site accommodation for those who look after the horses. Well, a splendid race course. We've seen all of those so far, and of course, you've got the jumps and the gallops and everything else. Thanks very much for joining us today. Thanks for being in touch. Thanks for all of your messages as well. We're getting into the run-in now to the finish in Laval. These two riders are on the attack, Bergadeau and Verchet. We're going to take a look back now at what's happened on the stage so far. Stage 8 of the Tour de France got underway at 1:24 in the afternoon. 176 riders at the start after the loss of Jack Haig last night and then Eddie Dunbar this morning. Immediately after the start, no major attacks. Quinn Simmons and the rest of the team of Intermarché leading the charge at the front. The main action of the day was in Vitre as Jonathan Milan went for the intermediate sprint, which he secured very, very easily. Tim Malia was up there, as was Anthony Turgis and Biniam Ghermay. After we went through Vitre, Bergadeau attacked. He was brought back, so then he attacked again with his teammate. Bergadeau and Verchet, now their lead is crumbling under the speed. We're in the last hour of racing now. 30 seconds for the two Total Energy riders. It's been a hard day out there for them since they attacked, but you have to be admired in the way that they've taken about the stage. Just upping the average speed, it's now 43.8 kilometers an hour on today's stage of racing. A number of riders are born near and around this area, including Marc Madiot, who was born in Rennes, Yvon Madiot, who was born in the same place, Vic Turpin, who was born in Laval. Quite a lot of riders who have been professional riders are born in this particular region, grew up in this region. It's a hotbed of cycling around this particular area. 40.7 kilometers now to go. We've talked a lot about riders who might win today. Yesterday, the winner, of course, Pogacar on the Mur de Bretagne. He climbed Mur de Bretagne in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Those riders who've won before include the time of Mathieu van der Poel, who climbed the Mur de Bretagne 6 seconds faster, 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Alexis Viermos climbed it in 4:08, Cadel Evans in 4:10, but still the record is held by Dan Martin in 3 minutes and 53 seconds on the Mur de Bretagne. What's that, 11 seconds faster than Tadej Pogacar. It's interesting to compare the times, but of course the wind directions are different.
But also yesterday, if you remember, there was a very start. But I'm pretty sure that was the story Dan would have been. He knows that stat. He studied. He would be talking all day VIP area.
But he's still the fastest rider.
Yes. I love them.
He has, because I've had a text. I did text him this morning and say that you are the fastest rider on Mur de Bretagne.
You understand what you've done.
He already knew it. He already knew it. He'd already checked it. So yeah, he already knew and he was happy, and I'm sure he's living on it all day today.
It's terrible to be a cyclist and competitive. And to a certain extent, we all are the same. All the DC teams been in formation and starting what I call the flag racing. And Solaris at the back there with Almeida. He might not want to get involved today.
What about the chances of Arnaud Delis? Here he is.
Well, he's got the new aero glasses by Ekoi. They're not out yet in the shops. They'll be out this winter, and they were tried out over the last couple of months. I'm pretty sure he'll be happy if he wins with those new aero models. He's one of those riders that we know he's a massive talent in the sprint. It just hasn't quite been at this level in the Tour de France yet. But today definitely is a finish that would suit him. He likes a finish.
Often we see him out the back, not far from the finish, in the cars. I wonder whether he's just wasting a lot of energy just before the critical point of the race, or whether that's his style.
Well, style or not style, I'd send it's about being efficient. And I would have sent a rider to go and get my bottle. If you're trying to win the stage, you don't see Milan going for bottles on the stage like today.
Particularly not 38 kilometers from the finish line. You need to keep your everything, all the energy you need, because there's so many fresh legs in this peloton this afternoon.
Exactly, and you can see today at the back of the peloton, all the riders are freewheeling. You're literally into a block headwind at the moment. It's Guillaume Martin, who also came down yesterday, lost a bit of time in GC.
Madouas's birthday. Guillaume Martin is now 20th at 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Valentin Madouas, happy birthday to him in the peloton today. We haven't really had an update on Guillaume Martin and how he is after that crash, but he came down quite heavily yesterday. Now we're starting to see some organisation. The team of Uno X are pretty organised. The team of Jaco Alula, the team of Israel Premier Tech, they're all in the right lines. Arnaud Delis coming back on his own with a bottle for one of his teammates. He's got to try and get himself in the right position. Is it a finish for him, though, with this drag?
I think so. I thought he was good on when it's a bit harder finish.
Any other sprinters we should today in terms of getting the timing right?
Definitely Groenewegen, definitely Caden Groove, Milan, Merlier. Ghermay, and I think that's about it for the favorites.
Okay.
And then for placing, we throw in there Brian Cockar, Bittner, Paul Bittner.
Bittner rode well the other day, didn't he? Bittner has had some good sprints so far. He was 5th on, stage 3 race.
Hackerman.
Bauhaus was 3rd on that day.
Yeah.
Farensgold as well.
Oh, yes, of course.
He finished 4th on the stage.
I think it's a good finish for Farensgold.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of firepower when it comes to lead out. They haven't got the timing perfect yet, but they definitely have the intention.
Absolutely.
They're still quite a young team, remember that, and they're learning very, very quick.
These two riders have got 35 seconds. We're going to hear from another possible winner of today's stage. Let's hear now from Caden Groves.
Yeah, unfortunately we missed Jasper now, so we still have some opportunities in the sprints, and I'm going to, obviously step up. Still got a super strong lead out in Jonas and Mathieu, and we see how we go.
Because it's a pretty tough finish. It's slightly uphill. Could it suit you? Could it suit Mathieu?
Yeah, exactly. Mathieu, he said he's won here in the past as well, but I think it suits me really well. I'm waiting for the pure sprinters to get a bit more fatigue in the legs, where I can then be competitive, I think, in the bunch sprints. But today, with the finale the way it is, I think it suits me really well.
One last question. Where are we this morning?
I've got no idea.
Caden Groves, this suits him. Now we're starting to get this rush as everybody tries to move forward. This is a real movement by a lot of the teams to come to the front of this race. Any reason other than happening? We're coming up. We're not even at the climb yet.
No, we're going to turn now, and there's a big change of direction, and the wind is turning left, and the wind will come a little bit more to the right. Still should be a headwind. As you could just see the flag, proper headwind. But again, it's always the same thing. You never know. And look at the crowds. Wow.
Incredible crowds. Here's that turn, Nico, where we've suddenly changed direction.
Yeah, so the graph now is telling us that it is coming from the right. But again, what you'll see is the big surge. And then you will teams will assess and then slow down again. It's always important to be in position.
Big crowd as we work our way through here.
Oh, Almeida is dropping the wheel there from that acceleration of the peloton.
Laura Schmidt at the back. He was in a ice fest a little while ago. 11 seconds now with that little surge into that corner. Tadej Pogačar has been talking this morning about Fiesma's tactics in the feed zone. And he says, I don't know what their intention is in the feed zone. They do a lot of times. They come in front of you in the feed zone like they're the only ones who have bottles. Sometimes you have to be a little bit patient and stay on the wheel when you're taking bottles and pay some respect to everybody. I think there's a little bit of Fiesma trying to wind Pogačar up at this moment in the Tour de France and just make him waste energy. Seems to be what they're doing.
No, not on the feed zone. No, it's just they tend to. It's just an aggressive way of racing, but it's not a tactic to tire the peloton. It's just their. I think what he's trying to say is they literally surge into the feed zone and ride aggressively in the feed zone. I think that's what he's trying to say. Not that they're trying to tire anyone. It's more about how they make their way from one side of the road to the Soigneur.
And
oh, there's been a little split there.
There is a split
at the back of the peloton.
Search. Number of riders out the back. We've just not been able to close the gap yet.
It's starting to be a few tires' legs.
Average speed after 3 hours of racing today, still 44 kilometers an hour. It's not a really slow day, is it?
No, 44 is not 48 like yesterday, but
it's still quick. This is the group coming back, just a little bit of a gap back to them. Guillaume Martin at the back of it, or towards the back. Just got to be a little bit vigilant in case there's a split. Gianni Moscon at the back as well. Suddenly we've got a little bit more tension in the peloton as Ineos Grenadiers move up on the left-hand side. I would imagine Ineos Grenadiers will sprint with Axel Laurence again this afternoon. unusual. Tim Malier's won a stage, Biniam Ghrimay won 3, Jordi Muse has won a stage. Caden Groves, no, but other 2 Grand Tours. Dylan Groenewegen, 6 stages. Arnaud Demar, 2 stages. I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not bad, though, out of the 8 sprinters.
True, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that all of these other sprinters, the dream, the drive to win a stage is there, which makes it even more important because there's not many stages left for these guys.
No, not at all.
Bit of land art.
And the apples.
And the apples. That's clever, actually. Beautifully manicured. 9 out of 10. Maybe an 8. Maybe I'm being too generous today. Everyone looking around, a few smiles at the front of the peloton. Julien Alaphilippe is...
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them. I'm Noah Rosen, founder and owner of Forged to Table Knives. Working my way up through the culinary industry, I knew a lot of people that would love an affordable handcrafted knife, so I saw the opportunity and built my own online empire. When someone first gets to forgetotable.com, we want them to have a curated shopping experience. With Wix, the detail and precision we put into crafting every knife went into the website in the same way. At Forged to Table, we're all chefs, so our blog is our creative outlet. With Wix, we're able to provide content and really good recipes that are really delicious while bringing customers into the products. Having a great platform means that we can serve 1,000 customers on the site every day.
Strong performance. Well, how will the finale play out? You'll need to stay well positioned and supported. Yeah, exactly. Positioning will be crucial when entering Laval. We'll hit narrow roads with lots of turns, and as we approach the city, within 5 kilometers out, the roads open up a bit. Wider doesn't mean easier. Plus, we've got those rolling false flat sections that go both ways on the main road. It's going to be super tense, a bit hard to read, but the key will be staying at the front. With these rolling false flats, the speed is so high here, we'll be coming back later would be impossible.
Paul Patz of the team of Groupama FDJ, a rider who is growing in confidence, wants to win a stage. He's been there or thereabouts. He is a bit of a rider who moves around in the sprints from what we've seen so far in the Dauphiné and here, but there's no reason why he can't win.
Nope, and he seems to be quite confident he can. Strange not to see the team of Tadej Pogačar up the front. Oh, there they are. No, they're not. Sitting a little bit further back.
The Australian champion right in the middle. Problem for Rob Stannard with Lenny Martinez just in front of him. Stannard Bahrain victorious. Real Buncher with 28.9 kilometers of racing to go. He's chosen to ride along on it until the team car is ready. Looks like a slow puncture rather than going straight down.
Or maybe with sealant.
Stops now.
Car.
Bahrain team car must be pretty close.
There it is. So that was a more traditional old school change.
It was, wasn't it?
Stay at the back of the bunch.
Bruno Retailleau, the Minister of the Interior, is with us here on the Tour de France today. Enjoying a day out. He will have seen a big peloton of riders today. Rob Stannard getting going now. Let us know who you think might win today's stage at Ant McCrossan, at Roach_Nicholas.
Cofidis now riding at the very front of the bunch. Believe in Coquard today.
Over on the far side, Julian Alaphilippe. They're going to try and put Dainese in with a chance of winning today's stage, aren't they?
There's Tadej Pogacar just behind all the fighting. They're very different tactics with Visma Leasebike at the very front. You've got Kampenaerts, and then on his wheel, Vingegaard, and then Tadej's at the back there.
Tadej doesn't normally sit this far back, but as Nico said, it's easier for him to sit this far back today. For those of you just joining us that have missed that and thinking, why is he so far back in the peloton?
I think he also feels how nervous the race is, and he's trying to stay out of trouble.
Here's some breakaway statistics. They've now been in the lead for 50 kilometers, average speed of 48.2 in that breakaway. So since they went on the move between kilometer 90 and 140, these two guys haven't hung around, and they've lifted the average speed of the race.
They have, and riding close to 50k an hour with that side wind, headwind. Interesting to see him.
Maybe they are, because Jordi Mus is not feeling 100% after that big crash. That's a good point. Well, the Total Energy team at the front, and there we are, our first photographer in a sunflower field. They're checking over their shoulders. Total Energy. Ineos have got Total Energy on their kit. We talked about that on day number 1, I think, about two teams having the same sponsor. Although Ineos is the headline sponsor, and they haven't changed the team name to Ineos Grenadiers Total Energy in any way. Red Bull is also on the jersey of Tudor, isn't it? On the sleeves of the Tudor squad. We don't know what the impact of the Ineos Grenadiers sponsorship is and Total, and what's going to happen down the line. There's all sorts of rumours around those teams. We get a little bit of land art. Which looks like bits of the caravan this afternoon. 41 seconds. So those of you looking and thinking, Ineos have got Total Energy on the back of their kit and Total Energy are on the attack. They are not the same teams. And we talked about this on day 1, that it's quite hard to explain why two teams have the same sponsor. And in normal circumstances, this is not necessarily one of those things that is allowed. Tudor Pro Cycling, left-hand side. There's Ineos on the right-hand side. And in the middle, the team of Cofidis. Then right in the middle of the road, the team of Alpecin-Deceuninck. But there must be a reason somewhere why Ineos have been allowed to have Total Energy on their kit that no one is party to yet. And also Red Bull.
No, you said it already. Because they're not the title sponsor.
Yeah, they're not being named as a title sponsor. And Red Bull being on Tudor's kits, that is another thing that's been there for the whole of the season. 26 kilometers an hour. Oops, the teammate of the two Total Energy riders just attacking his teammate as he went through that corner. They've still got 49 seconds, you know, Nico. It's not...
they've accelerated.
Yeah, it's not going down yet this time. All the group together, the peloton. So we think then that the sprinter for the team of Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe this afternoon is going to be Danny van Poppel. It looks that way. We have no sprinter in UAE, no sprinter really in the team of Visma, unless Wout van Aert decides he's going to go for it. Tim Merlier will go in Soudal Quick-Step. We've got Albanese going probably in the team of EF, unless Maren Vandenberg goes. Biniam Ghrimay in the Intermarché team. Phil Bauhaus, who's had a top 3 place for Bahrain Victorious. Axel Laurent of Ineos Grenadiers, Jonathan Milan of Lidl Trek Groupama with Paul Pennoet. Team Vapsen de Koenig will go with Caden Groves this afternoon. Tudor will go with Dianese. Jaco Alula will go with Dylan Groenewegen. Arnold Demar will go in the team of Arkea B&B Hotels. Even Garcia Cortina in the Movistar team. Decathlon, Bastien Tronchon maybe. Brian Cocker in the team of Cofidis. It will be Ballerini probably in XDS Astana. They do have Case Bowl though. Genier is gone from Total Energy. He is no longer in the race. Pavel Bittner of Picnic Post NL. Israel Premier Tech will go with their sprinter Pascal Ackermann. And then Uno X have got Varenskold, and the team of Lotto have got Arnold de Lee. It's a lot of sprinters, isn't it?
Yes, a lot of sprinters. And that's why it's going to get messy when it has to come to that last 1.5 kilometers. Very important chicane to be in position there. And then it opens up into a big wide road, drags up to the finish.
The convent of Ursuline. We just saw a moment ago, constructed in the 17th century. Left-hand turn now, 53 seconds. We're heading towards the climb. 17.3 kilometers is where we reached there. We've got 6 kilometers till the climb, only 900 meters. What is this climb like?
It's very straightforward. You come out of the town, over a little bridge, kicks up, less than 1 kilometer. When you get to the top, it doesn't go down. We stay on this plateau, and this will be this plateau coming up all the way till we arrive to Laval. So we're back on the main road now. So they took the riders a little detour in the town rather than going through the main town.
Is this climb a springboard in any way for some attacks?
I thought about it, but I don't think so. But this morning at the top was very exposed, and the angle, the wind comes a little bit more from the right rather than from the head. But then you turn again into the headwind. So I don't think it might be a springboard. It'd be great to see an attack. It'd be great to see someone try it. But again, it'll depend on how fast. And you can see there's not much room to get up there. Like all the teams are in position doing that drag racing.
Well, let's see whether anything happens. This is the Mayen River. 56 seconds for these two riders. 22.2 kilometers to go. They've given us some entertainment this afternoon, these two riders. It's been great to see them at the front. Bergadeau and Verchet. As their sports director said, they've honoured the race. This is the viaduct, opens traffic in October 2022, 330 metres long. A metal arch with a 125-metre span, 2 lanes and a 3-metre wide cycle and pedestrian path as well. And a wooden footbridge under the deck. Milan there in the green jersey, right in the middle of the road. We're almost at the end of today's stage. Let's take a look, Nico. This is where we are with the wind and where we're heading.
So there we are, the head of the race, about a minute ahead. And again, that light headwind, 15k per hour. There's a climb, and you're on the top there, the plateau, back down to the town, a little bit twisty. Again, road furniture, and we arrive into Laval. That's kind of the technical part. You're going to have to be careful. There's a U-turn on that dual carriageway, and the little chicane here, and it's going to be tailwind all the way to the finish. But you will only get the tailwind in the last 2 kilometers of today's stage.
Is it a full tailwind or 3/4 tailwind?
3/4 tailwind.
Does that make this very dangerous, this running?
No, it makes it fast.
Very fast.
Fast equals also dangerous. but yes. It won't make it dangerous for crosswinds. It'll make it just dangerous because of the speed they were carrying.
Is so high. Verchet at the front.
I think there must be, I think it's like 6 roundabouts in the last 5 kilometers.
That's a lot.
But what they've done is a lot of them are actually cut into 1 lane. But again, it just means you're narrowing from 2 lane into 1 lane.
It's going to be very critical for the lead-out men to get themselves in the right place. All the sprinters around about each other generally. Milan, Merlier, Grumay, all on the right-hand side of the road. Very compact peloton. Dainese getting ready on the right-hand side for his sprint. The team of Picnic Poster now. They've put Bittner in a good position over the last few days of racing. We'll see whether he can produce the winning result this afternoon. 20 kilometers to go. We've just gone under for Bergadeau and Verchet. They're moving well. 109 now, the advantage. Just looking through his little computer in front of him, the little head unit. A lot of conversation going on between Bergadeau and Verchet. Just keeping each other going, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Capped 1 minute.
Well, with a sudden acceleration, there is some hope. Bottle from the Bottle bike, which looks after the riders in these circumstances, because they've still got no team car.
No. No, they've done over 50 kilometers with no team car on a very hot day, so that's their best friend for today, that motorbike.
It is.
Keeping them cool and hydrated.
I'll be taking him a present tomorrow morning. He certainly looks after them.
All right, 19 kilometers to go. There's those flowers that you absolutely love.
36 kilometers an hour.
Oh, crash.
Big crash. One of the Intermarché riders is down.
And he's not moving much there.
I hope he is okay. Jonas Rush is down. The doctor getting to him immediately to check he's okay. Jonas Rush with a big fall. He's trying to get up now, but he's in a bad way. Gone right into that ditch.
Oh, we start.
Also down was Rubio. Rubio was held up. I don't know if he crashed. Well, let's hope Jonas Rush is okay. Here's the crash, Nico.
Oh, what happened? Right in the middle of the road.
It did, and he went straight to the left-hand side.
Oh, no chance there for Rubio.
Rubio saved it. He managed to stay on his feet. Just about. Thankfully, Jonas
Still
Rush is
see
up.
the wheel of Rubio on his back there. He's going to thank him tonight.
Oh.
Is he okay? He seemed a little bit shocked when he fell there. He didn't move for a bit.
Well, the doctor seems to have said he's all right. Yeah, he didn't move for a long time. This is where there is 1 point on offer for the King of the Mountains. This peloton is moving at high speed with the tailwind towards the climb. Sorry, with a tailwind?
Headwind. No.
Headwind still at 56k an hour. Wow, they're moving quickly.
Okay, so it seems to be the knee. Yeah, it seems to be the knee and the elbow.
Yeah, Rubio's left a tire mark all the way down his back.
Here we go, lots of road furniture coming into this finish. And these two riders are doing a good job there.
They are doing well.
Neutral service is passing, but this is the climb there. Oh, and they're sprinting into the climb.
47 seconds for these two riders who are still holding on with 17 kilometers to go. There's the vital statistics. The Nuit-les-Eaux-Viron, 900 meters, 3.8%. It's a fast climb. Lots of fans at the side of the road, closing the road a little bit further as these two riders make their way to the top. There's 1 point on offer in the King of the Mountains, and they are going for it now and trying to secure the point at the top. Another bottle handed out so far. Verchet hasn't taken any points.
Look at the speed coming into the corner.
Moves in the breakaways. Look at the speed of these riders into this corner. Pogacar still a long way back, 6%. Vingegaard right at the front, Pogacar almost right at the back.
And there's no teammates there for Vingegaard.
The summit of the climb coming up. These two breakaway riders heading up there. It's going to be Bergerdo who's going to be first over the top, and they're going to just keep driving on. Top of the only climb of today's stage, Bergerdo takes the points. The Total Energy riders committed to trying to go all the way to the end.
And they're doing well. The peloton's under pressure. Still 16 kilometers to go into a headwind, and no sprinter's team has really taken it on.
And they'll only feel the might of the tailwind when they get to just the last few K.
Yeah, unfortunately, about 2.5 kilometers to go. It might be too late for them to enjoy the tailwind. But the peloton's still under control. No big acceleration. It's only about pacing to be in position. Once again, Vingegaard in the front there on his own. No teammate around him. Where are his teammates?
I don't know. They're a bit further back. The peloton reached the top of the only challenge of the day.
It's extremely rare to see him
44 seconds behind. He is, isn't he? On his own right-hand side as we look. And the rest of his teammates are quite a long way back.
Affini is here. And Astana, XRD are coming up.
And Vingegaard quite happy to be up there at the front, staying out of trouble.
Yes.
Why do you think he's chosen to do that? To be out of trouble, but...
To be out of trouble, but it's the first time I see him alone. There's always normally Tish Benoot, Affini, Campenart, Wout van Aert. And they were together a little bit ago, so they must have been coming into a corner, lost each other.
You are right, it is rare. And there he is. And he's still pushing on at the front. Geraint Thomas is there. Is this the point in the course you said that there is the possibility of some wind and things happening?
Ah, here we go. Things are back to normal.
Finally. Jorgensen goes to the front, pushes on the pace a little bit further, looks after Vingegaard.
There we go, just drifting back now. Quinn Simmons and the whole team of Little Trek in position.
Peloton filling this road now.
As the XDS Astana team, they're going to try and go for it today. Didn't work out for them in the last few sprints. They're looking at her.
Do you think they'll go with Case Bowl or with Ballerini?
They went with Ballerini the last time, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go with Ballerini again.
Let's take a look at some statistics. The average speed on that climb, 33.5. They climbed it fast.
They did. It was a proper sprint. 35 seconds now. And you might start seeing riders just literally drifting off the back. 14 kilometers to go.
Bergerdo is strong, isn't he?
He is. His poor teammate is suffering on the wheel. Every time there's a corner, he accelerates and he has to sprint back onto the wheel.
And I've seen Bergerdo do this before. I've seen him do this in Paris-Nice, albeit he attacked a lot closer to the finish line. He's super strong if he's on a good day. Verche just literally, look at those shoulders, left and right. The head is almost on the handlebars. He's gulping in the air as much as he possibly can. The sweat's pouring down his neck. He's given Bergerdo a turn whenever he can. Bergerdo is the rider who is feeling very strong this afternoon. 33 seconds, 13.5 kilometers of racing to go. Pogacar still comfortable, middle towards the back of this peloton. Still that washing machine effect as riders move around and get it organized. Milan moves up very close to the front for Milan already with 13 kilometers to go.
Yeah, it seems to be, the peloton seems to be riding very aggressively. As you can see, that washing machine effect. None of the teams are actually very organized. It's just been changing left and right, very, very aggressive riding in the peloton. Again, the slow motion, the pain of the riders.
Verche is given the most aggressive rider of today's stage, and so is Mathieu Bergerdo. So that means they're going to get a double combativity prize.
Well, we had a day without one, so now we have a day with two.
One to be given.
But actually, in fairness to who would have given it to, they've done the same amount of load. I mean, Bergerdo seems to be the stronger rider.
Yeah.
But I'd give it to Verchet for hanging onto his wheel.
Yeah.
He's the one doing the most fighting.
He is.
Right-hand third for the peloton, all stretched out. Oh, and there he goes.
Finally.
Just way too much.
Bergerdo goes clear. Verchet is dropped.
Now that I use Monday Service, AI makes solving tickets my form of meditation. Monday Service is a ticketing platform that helps us manage and automate our entire service operations with efficiency and with no code needed. IT, HR, ops, or any other department, everyone can manage ticketing their way and stay on the same platform, so we can create a unified experience for our customers. Every incoming ticket is automatically categorized, and the repetitive issues get resolved. Whatever tickets are left get routed to the right available rep with recommended resolutions and next steps. And you can see it all here on our dashboards. We customize them to focus on the strategic stuff, identifying company needs and opportunities, so we can finally be proactive.
Oh, at the back. Oh, it looks like his foot came out of the pedal.
I wonder whether he was talking into the radio already, and I wonder whether he already had a puncture, and as you said, he slid off, because he was talking into the radio with his hand up.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like that.
Bergerdo still at the front, 15 seconds, he believes. 11.5 kilometres of racing to go. Fair play to these riders from Total Energy. They have given it everything this afternoon. Nearly 70 kilometres an hour. All the motorbikes out of the gap right now. Bergerdo has left Verchet behind. Michael Woods is waiting for a front wheel. And now it's Quinn Simmons who's hunting this down. This is Chris Neelands.
And he's going to take it easy now into the finish. They start seeing all the sprinters formation, getting up to the front. Bahrain victorious. They want to try and forget about yesterday.
Tish Benoit moves up. Phil Bauhaus will be in the wheels of Bahrain victorious. Can they turn around a bad day yesterday into a great day today? Paul Pennoet punctures.
Oh, yes, he's not happy.
Two sprinters out. It's going to be difficult, isn't it, for Pennoet to come back at 10 kilometres to go?
Yes, because look at the speed of this peloton, 63 kilometers per hour. And it's not going to slow down at this point. Formation of Tudor cycling on the left-hand side.
A few punctures all in a row there. Guillaume Bovan has also punctured. Michael Woods has punctured. Tim Merlier has punctured. So has Paul Pennoet punctured. Bergerdo, the solo attacker now. The peloton behind him. Well, the cavalry is charging and they're about to bring him back into the group at 50 kilometres an hour. Inside 10 kilometres of racing now remain on stage 8 of the Tour. Well done to Mathieu Bergerdo. A little bit of a split in the peloton now.
Yeah, riders are starting to sit up. There's no real, bit like yesterday. If you're not really doing GC or not getting involved with a sprint or not looking after a rider,
Simon Yates drops away.
Well, you sit up and start thinking about tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Another problem.
There's Woods.
Yeah, there's Woods. He finally gets a bike. At the back of the race here is Paul Pennoet trying to come back. Puncture also for one of the EF riders on the right-hand side of the road.
And also one thing to bear in mind with the peloton drifting back and splitting in groups, the cars are not directly overtaking, so he's going to find himself a lot of traffic.
Sitting up, Luke Plapp. Just heard on Radio Tour, Tim Merlier has just got back to the peloton. What a job by Merlier. He's with his teammate, Bert van Leeuwenberger. He goes up the outside on the right. Chaotic end to today's stage, as Nico, you predicted it would be.
Yes, unfortunately, not because of punctures. But again, it's kind of coming now into this final technical part. Lots of roundabouts. You have to be cautious. I hope the sports director did the homework. There are certain roundabouts where you need to take one side is a lot quicker than the other.
Alps in de Koenig move up on the right-hand side as we look. They've got their sprinter for the day, the Australian Caden Groves. Left-hand side, Jonas Vingegaard with his team just been brought forward and out of trouble. Tom Scoynes pressing now to try and put the green jersey in the right position. They also have to look after Schelmoser, their rider for the general classification.
And also interesting to see with a team of Little Trek, Jasper Stuyven, normally one of the last men of the lead out, but he's in the front today doing the work early.
Big turn now, right-hand turn. Tudor go through in the front with Lidl Trek, with Wiesma, Lisa Bike. Pogacar is still happy to sit right at the back of this peloton this afternoon. Tim Merlier with Remco Evenepoel. Merlier just waiting, recovering. If he wins this stage, it will be exceptional, having had to come back so fast.
Yes, two very different tactics there between the teams of Visma Lisa Bike and the team of Emirates XRG. One is on the most relaxed side, staying behind that trouble, gambling on the fact that you have the 5 kilometer rule and the 3-second rule, because it's very important that those rules are combined, actually, because that gives you a lot. And on the other hand, Jonas Vingegaard, who's literally in second place at the moment until the 5 kilometers to go, saying, I don't want to be back. If I'm in second wheel, I'm not going to crash. I won't take one single risk. Here's Mohoric coming into the middle, squeezing in there from the riders.
Whoops, a little
leaning
bit of a
on.
lean. Bauhaus, or Mohoric actually, just leaning on one of the Tudor riders.
Yeah, Bauhaus is on his wheel just behind.
Bauhaus trying to get through, leans, shoulders a little bit, tries to move a rider out the way. It's quite risky in there this afternoon. Left-hand side now, you see Tudor with Dainese, the little figure of him tucked in the slipstream behind Trentin, getting ready for this sprint. Got to be careful, these legs of the barriers a little bit narrow as the riders made their way through that section. 7 kilometers of racing to go. Nico, what's coming up?
So you're staying on this road for a bit, and then you're going to turn left and then right and go into the 5 kilometers, and all that is on the riverbank. And it'll be rolling down.
Another little bit of a shoulder to shoulder. And we go through that. A little bit narrow. We go behind the building and come out with the riders now 3 abreast as Wiesma Lisa Bike look after Vingegaard, but coming to the front now is the team of Bahrain Victorious looking after Phil Bauhaus. Trentin is there, look comfortable, just pedaling away nicely in the black and red of Tudor Pro Cycling.
The right-hand turn.
Big move by Dylan Groenewegen on the right-hand side. Wow, that was a bit of a dive bomb on the inside to move up about 30 places. 6 kilometers to go.
So 1 kilometer straight on this riverfront. It's so funny to see that, well, because they've been drag racing for so long, those sprinters team are actually quite decimated in numbers. None of the teams. Oh, there's again Vingegaard. He knows the 5K rule. He wants to be without any trouble, but he goes and pushes the riders from Tudor. Obviously, the Tudor, a lot of respect. Let Vingegaard, Affini in the front, making sure he gets there at the 5 kilometers.
This is Paul Pennoet. He's not there yet. For him to take part in this sprint, he has to be right in the right position. So Vingegaard now 2nd place in this peloton. As we make our way into the 5 kilometer situation. Into Laval, a beautiful place along the banks of the river. A long straight line of riders. 3 kilometers an hour. Jordi Meus has just been distanced, so they'll go with Danny Van Poppel if indeed they decide to go for a sprint at all. 5 kilometers of racing now remain on today's stage.
Yeah, fair point. They might decide to just look after Roglic and Lipovic.
Vingegaard talks into the radio, goes to the far left-hand side.
There he is, he's saying, okay, I don't want to get involved. My job was to be at the 5 kilometer, and they call it the zone sprint.
Vingegaard doing the right thing, moving up on the side, getting out of trouble. And here is Jordi Meus. We get ready then for a sprint. Everybody moving around, little chicanes now and then. Pogacar is further back. Vingegaard is just drifting his way through the peloton.
And he also has information that Pogacar is in the back, that also Remco Evenepoel is also in the back.
So Tudor Pro Cycling, left-hand side as we look with Dainese. They're in the team in black and red. Looking good this afternoon for Dainese to try and win his first ever stage of the Tour de France. Wout van Aert moves up. He fancies a sprint this afternoon.
Yeah, well, Danny van Poppel is going to go for the sprint. He's sitting on the wheel of Kees Bol.
And Luc Met gets his there as well in the lavender colours of Jaco Alula with the silver grey shorts.
So now we're going to turn to the right and we're going to be on this main road. And it's going to drag up all the way to 3 kilometers to go.
A little bit of a drag now to 3 kilometers. Everyone's got to get themselves in the right position. Arnaud Lee is up there at the front in a good position on the left-hand side, just behind the team of Alpecin de Koenig. His lead-out man tries to move him up in the red on the left-hand side. Big move of the team of Israel Premier Tech on the right-hand side with Pascal Ackermann. And here comes Milan in the green jersey with the colours of Lidl Trek.
Yeah, Lidl Trek coming right up to the front. We're going to have to go around this roundabout now. It'd be quite technical because once you're on the other side of the roundabout, you could just see the road on the left. That's where you're going back. And that's all the way downhill. And in no time, you'll be at the 2 kilometers to go and around that chicane.
On the wheel of that train is Oliver Nazen, I think. Nazen moves up. Fast downhill now, 3 kilometers to go. Nico, what comes up next?
So we're going to go all around this big roundabout. That's going to stretch that peloton. And then after that, we're going back down the same road all the way to 2 kilometers. It looks flat from here, but believe me, it is not. You'll see that speed going right up to 60k an hour. There's a roundabout straight after the 2 kilometers. It will be very important to be in position. There's another roundabout at 1.8, and this one's a bit off camber. There's the real chicane, and then you will start making your way towards a kilometer. From 1.8 to go after the roundabout, you will start dragging up to the finish.
Israel off. Right-hand side, the team of Lotto trying to get involved as they try to bring Arnaud Delis, his first stage win in the Tour. He's tucked in on the wheel. Look at the speed. Nearly 80 kilometers an hour. In fact, we're probably about to hit 80. We touch over 80 kilometers an hour as we make our way towards a finish. It's super fast on a sizzling hot day in Laval. Bahrain victorious, go into that turn, use all the road at the front for Phil Bauhaus. 1,800 meters to go. And it's a furious sprint.
Yeah, it's roundabout. It's a little more complicated to pass. Have to spend a lot more energy. But if you're not in position, there it is. Riders slowing right down, throwing the bike in the front. That's more rich. And the gap opening.
Milan lent on Caden Groves to kind of shot that corner a little bit. So Groves is having to work hard to get himself in position because Mathieu van der Poel, his lead-out man, is a little bit ahead. Lidl Trek had position. Groves shuts the gap. Ackermann is on his wheel. Just behind his Bauhaus, just behind them is one of the Lotto riders. Moving up on the left-hand side comes Wout van Aert.
And it's hard there for Consoni. He's done a big job. Leaves Jasper Stuyven in the front. Very early there from that to go, but have to commit to it. A lot of the teams are coming up. As you see, Trentin leading out now. Dainese on the wheel. Wout van Aert is going to go for the sprint as well.
He is 1,000 meters of racing to go on this 8th stage of the Tour de France. Big move by Pavel Bittner. Attack on the left-hand side.
Like Gregoire.
Is that Penouet or is that Gregoire? I'll tell
92.
you it is. It is going to be Lewis Askey. Lewis Askey is up there for the team of Groupama, being led out. So Askey is trying to get involved in the mix. 570 meters to go, but the arrival now of Mathieu van der Poel with a big rush. Right-hand side, it's Pascal Ackermann. Jonathan Milan moves across onto the wheel of Caden Groves. Wout van Aert is still there. Here goes Jonathan Milan. Oh, he went to go and then decided it was too early in this. And he's decided. Here goes the sprint now. Jonathan Milan firing to try and win his first ever stage of the Tour de France. Wout van Aert's going to challenge Jonathan Milan, but it is going to be no doubt. Liepman sits up, confident, wins stage number 8. The first stage win in the Tour for Jonathan Milan.
Well, what a lead out there by Consoni and by his teammate Jasper Stuyven. It was a long way to go. He was isolated. He was capable of using other trains that were coming from behind. He seems to be in control from a kilometre and a half to go. At some point, massive surge from Van der Poel with Groves in the wheel. He timed it. He waited, opened up the gap. Perfect timing there for him, but I think he was also the strongest by far.
He was. He went to go and then decided, no. Let's wait a second. Jonathan Milan has won a stage in the Tour de France. Milan, so confident, sat up. Looks like it was easy, but it wasn't easy at all.
No, it wasn't easy when you go look at
this
at some
sprint.
point there. He was almost collecting, elbows himself out, sees the opportunity, knows where he needs to go, powers out. Van Aert comes very close and to the right. Not enough for there by the Alpecin, this Koenig team. It's just not at the level of these two riders.
Wout van Aert, second on the stage, right on the wheel of Jonathan Milan.
I mean, in fairness, he's a good sprint there by Wout van Aert. Hasn't been sprinting.
All that pressure is now released. They did it. That's what it means to stage. Johnny Milan wins stage 8 of the Tour. The Italian powerhouse does what he's been searching for days. Wout van Aert, though, what a sprint. For a moment, it looked like Van Aert might challenge, but then he just had no answer to the might of Milan.
Voilà, on attend évidemment d'avoir la liste complète du côté des collectivités territoriales au moment donc où Jonathan Milan va rejoindre notre podium.
And you just see the difference of power when we had the shot from behind, when both of them went, just opened up this big gap on Groves. That was led out perfectly by his teammates. And Coquard having a good sprint there. And Denis.
Delis was up there in the top 10
as well. Yeah, there you go.
Consoni.
So important for everyone. That's what I was saying earlier on. When you have a win like this, it's a whole team that's built around one goal. It's got responsibilities. When he nails it, it's a whole team that benefits from that.
Let's take a look at the classification. Jonathan Milan wins stage 8 ahead of Wout van Aert and Caden Groves. Behind them, Pascal Ackermann, Arnaud Delis. No sight of Biniam Girmay at all. Tobias Lunt was there in 6th. Laval, the 3rd time as a stage town of the Tour. We didn't see Biniam Girmay at all in that sprint.
No, at all, nor his teammates. They must have got swamped in at some point.
Well, he's finally got the stage when he's been looking for. He wanted it on day 1. It didn't happen. But 8 days in, and he gets the stage victory. A fantastic win for Lidl Trek.
And moves in the green jersey.
Yes.
Not just wear.
No, now he's the leader.
And he's opened up a big gap.
This is what you came for. It didn't happen on stage 1. It didn't happen on stage 3. But you have it. You have your Tour de France stage victory.
Yeah, you know, I think I didn't still understood what we did. You know, to come with some expectations and some dreams to bring home. Then you know to predict them and to bring them home is they're two different things. But I was confident with the team, and we was really close in the last stage. I mean, not in the first one, but in the third one, we was pretty close to the victory. We know that we just went a bit too early, but today, you know, we was really focused. We was really believing in it. Just my guys did an amazing job until the final. It was a really tough, final. I have to say, a bit stressful, but I was not expecting so. It was dragging up so much the last kilometer and a half. I know that I had to wait as long as that I could. But yeah, I like this kind of finals. I was really happy for the work that we did. We really deserve it.
You can't believe it because it's so difficult to win a stage on the Tour de France.
Yeah, I think so. You know, the level is so high. Everyone is looking and will deserve one. So, you know, we also really deserve one. So at this point, so I'm really happy for all of us for this result. We really deserve it. And now, let's try to rest as much as possible tonight, and tomorrow we will try again.
It's also Viva Italia. 113 stages since an Italian has won a stage on the Tour de France. It was Vincenzo Nibali in 2019. You do it again. That's important for the nation.
I think so. You know, winning also with this jersey on the shoulders, it means a lot for me. It means a lot for, I think, also all my country. I think that's it. I'm really happy to the result, and I will try to bring others at home, of course.
Enjoy the podium.
Thank you.
A long time since an Italian wins. 113 stages. That's a long time.
Par rapport à ce que l'on connaissait hier lors de la dernière cérémonie protocolaire.
Nobody had a chance, Johnny. Unbelievable. Chapeau, guys. Managed really well. The greenhouse man. Congrats.
I think he was right. Nobody had a chance.
No.
Yeah, Marlier shaking a little bit the head there. Really unfortunate.
Just a puncture at the wrong time. Because once those legs are gone, the legs are gone, aren't they? To chase, to even get back on at that speed was pretty impressive. This is how the general classification looks. It stays the same. Pogačar leads by 54 seconds from Remco Evenepoel, with Kevin Vauquelin in third place. João Almeida completes today's route. He's got through one stage. (2021), Tadej Pogačar won the time trial here. Arrival of Michael Storer and Julian Alaphilippe. We wait now for the podium presentation of today's stage. Nico, it was a tough one to judge from a kilometre to go.
Yes, it was actually very nice. And there's Biniam Ghermay in the front, but just didn't have the power. There he is on the wheel. That's Alex Laurent just drifting back. I just couldn't have the power, but good work by the teams of Groupama United. Look at how quickly he comes back behind to put him in position. Wow, Milan not afraid to give a bit of an elbow there. Dainese again, also very aggressive, but nothing's wrong. That's how they do it. Great lead out by Groupama. But then Mathieu van der Poel's look behind, sees the opening onto the left before the rider just swings out. Big effort. No, goes in the inside there. Milan, make sure he has the space to go out. He knows what he's doing. He knows where he wants to be. He's on the good side of the wheel. The wind was coming from the left. Goes out. Dainese tries to get low. Yes, these two riders, they're above the other ones, but it was hard. No one could get around him today on a sprint like this.
Wout van Aert had a good go.
Yeah, he had a very good go.
Pretty impressive from Wout van Aert. But just the confidence in which Milan sits up, takes the victory. The rest of the sprinters, what, two or three lengths behind, other than Wout van Aert? We're in the center of Laval now. Place de Trémoy, renovated in 2013. The county of Laval belonged to the La Trémoy family from 1601 to 1792. And the gate, the Bucharest gate. If you visit Laval, you can visit the Milk Museum, which is in the center. It's known as the City of Milk.
Hence the cow earlier on the...
From Bernie Eisel.
And we had a nice little walk in the old town yesterday.
Beautiful place.
De Jonathan Milan, pas de Mats Pedersen qui était présent sur le Giro d'Italia. C'était donc tout pour Jonathan Milan, avec également une porte ouverte à Mathias Kielbos du côté de la montagne.
Our final rider reaches the line. There are riders who now are just trying to survive, get themselves through this tour. At least get to the rest day and try and recover a little bit. Jonas Ruch finishes the stage after his crash.
Weiß ich nicht, also ich habe eine Schulterweh. Muss mal gucken jetzt.
Jonas Ruch will be checked over, of course, and made sure that he's okay. He's got plenty of battle scars after that big crash. Let's hope he's okay. The adrenaline will stop now, and now he'll know whether he's all right or not.
You feel it in the shower.
Oh.
He wants to go to get the X-ray checked, asking for the X-ray, the medical truck.
Mathieu van der Poel trying to put Caden Groves into a winning position. Such a hard sprint.
It almost looked like Van der Poel could have done a better sprint himself almost, but good effort there by, I guess it's also giving him a little bit of a chance to go for the experience of sprinting in the Tour de France for later on.
Van Aert came alongside the back wheel for just a moment. That's when I thought maybe he was going to have a go, but he just couldn't get past. Here's a reminder of the winners of the stages so far. On his debut in the Tour, Jonathan Milan takes the stage victory. Pogačar is heading towards the podium now.
Cette distinction avec cette expédition dans les 70 derniers kilomètres, qui ont le mérite pardon, de compléter la situation, que le groupe était groupé. Merci mon cher Damien. Voilà, mesdames, messieurs, dans quelques instants, votre attention s'il vous plaît, début de la cérémonie protocolaire des marches du Tour, que nous ouvrons bien sûr avec l'hymne officiel du Tour de France.
The podium presentation of stage 8 of the Tour. The winner of today's stage is Jonathan Milan, the Italian Olympic champion. 23rd win of his career. Four times a stage winner in the Giro d'Italia, now a stage winner in the Tour de France.
De Monsieur le ministre de l'Intérieur Bruno Retailleau et du président du conseil départemental de la Mayenne Olivier Richefou et de l'autre côté du podium Vincent Cordier, Société Fenwick invité Continental. Et bien voilà les applaudissements pour Jonathan Milan. Et oui, Jonathan Milan, le sprinter, le sculptural sprinter italien, 1m96, 90 kg de muscles et de puissance qu'il a emporté en ultra costaud ici à Laval, dans ce département de la Mayenne, dans ce beau territoire qui aime tant le cyclisme et qu'il a encore prouvé avec un public très nombreux. Dans quelques instants, nous changerons de tableau, comme chaque fois évidemment, donc avec les porteurs.
Maximum speed in the last kilometre, 78 kilometers an hour. Considering that's a drag uphill for a lot of it, that's amazing. Jonathan Milan ahead of Wout van Aert, Caden Groves, Ackerman, De Lee and Tobias Lunt. Ackerman gets his best result in this Tour de France so far. The yellow jersey remains on the shoulders of Tadej Pogacar.
Elle conserve son maillot jaune. Tadej Pogacar, le leader de l'équipe UAE-Team Emirates. L'hôtel hôtesse LCL pour le bouquet de fleurs et la mascotte Petit Lion, bien sûr, en présence de Nathalie Camus, directrice régionale LCL, et de Florian Berco, maire de Laval et président de Laval Agglomération. Ah, ils ont le sourire, et évidemment, comme de coutume, Tadej Pogacar n'a pas traîné, pas le temps de bronzer sur le podium protocolaire. Il a le temps sur le vélo, mais sur le podium, ça va vite, vite et bien. Donc voilà, Tadej Pogacar.
He's just as fast on the podium as he is on the bike. I think now the speakers are recognizing that as well. Maximum speed today, 82.3 kilometers an hour.
De cette 112e édition de ce Tour de France cycliste, une édition 2025, donc baigné de soleil évidemment, baigné aussi des cris joyeux d'une foule.
Pogacar leads with the same margin on Remco Evenepoel as he did yesterday. The top 10 doesn't move around for the first time in a few days.
Thank you.
We look out over Laval. The famous painter Henri Rousseau was born on the 21st of May 1844 in Laval. The green jersey and stage winner Jonathan Milan. He now is firmly in the green jersey after today.
C'est le vainqueur du jour, Jonathan Milan de l'équipe Lidl Trek. L'hôtesse Skoda Auto lui ont remis un bouquet mascotte en présence de Julia Polak, pressager Skoda Pologne, et de l'autre côté du podium, donc le vice-président du conseil départemental de la Mayenne en charge des sports, Gérard Dujarier, qui sont heureux bien sûr de saluer le grand sprinter italien, l'homme fort de l'étape du jour. Voilà, regardez un petit peu le côté athlétique de ce garçon. Eh bien effectivement, merci beaucoup et bravo à Jonathan Milan, voilà, qui aura été l'homme du jour, cela va de soi.
His average speed 58.9 and the maximum 78 in that sprint.
Pour le meilleur grimpeur de ce tour, à l'issue de cette 8e étape, un maillot qui ne change pas d'épaule, donc toujours sur celle de Tim Wellens, donc équipier de l'équipe UAE.
He now has 192 points to Tadej Pogacar's 156. Best young rider, Remco Evenepoel, making his way to the stage. King of the Mountains is Tim Wellens.
Ici à Laval ce soir, c'est Tim Wellens, l'équipe UAE Team Emirates, donc, qui a 2 maillots distinctifs dans les enjeux de ce Tour de France. Tim Wellens, félicité par l'hôtel hôtesse des centres Leclerc en présence de Karine Jo, adhérente du centre Leclerc de Saint-Barthevin, et également donc sur le podium protocolaire Christelle Mousset, conseillère départementale de la Mayenne. Voilà, le soleil brille sur le visage de Tim Wellens, des hôtes et hôtesses, de nos personnalités.
Tim Wellens will wear the King of the Mountains again tomorrow.
Pour Tim Wellens, qui va pouvoir rejoindre lui aussi l'autre côté du podium protocolaire pour répondre aux questions forcément importantes et motivées donc de nos amis de la presse internationale. Il nous reste donc encore
Tim Wellens just 1 point ahead of Pogacar. There are no King of the Mountains tomorrow, which means that Wellens will carry it into Monday. And the best young rider is Remco Evenepoel of the Soudal Quick-Step
voilà,
team.
Le meilleur jeune de ce Tour de France, deuxième au classement général, c'est Remco Evenepoel de l'équipe Soudal Quick-Step.
Remco remains in second place overall in this tour.
Bruno Sancier, directeur de la marque Chris, et Vincent Saunier, vice-président du conseil départemental de la Mayenne, en charge des territoires. Et quel beau territoire, ma foi, que ceux de ce département de la Mayenne qui nous accueillit avec tellement de gentillesse. Remco Evenepoel, donc immense champion lui aussi, donc champion olympique, champion.
His maximum speed today, 82.7 kilometers an hour.
Il est le dauphin de Pogacar au général, avec moins d'une minute de retard.
17 seconds his lead on the second place rider, Kevin Vauquelin. And it's a joint combative award today, Bergado and Verchet. First time I've ever seen that. Nice to see.
En présence de Céline Loiseau, adjointe au maire de Laval, vice-présidente de Laval Agglomération, en charge des sports, de monsieur le ministre de l'Intérieur, Bruno Retailleau, et de l'autre côté donc du podium, Morgane Dréano, directeur de l'agence Century 21 Dréano Immobilier à Laval. Voilà, des Vendéens, bien sûr, donc
So they will wear the special numbers tomorrow on the stage, and I'm sure their sports director, who was motivating them during the race to go on the attack, will be very pleased with this. Respected the race, got on the podium.
Yeah, I think the sports director would be happy. Both of them are happy it's over as well. But fair play.
At the end of the day, the race was very blocked, nothing happening. These two ignited it, made the race exciting to watch for the last
hour and a half
of racing. It was great to see. Nice also to share it with your teammate.
It would have been really hard to choose one over the other.
And there we are. Now we've got the same number of expected combatives as we would have expected at the beginning of the race, because we didn't have one on stage 3. And as I mentioned earlier on today, there's been this special initiative by Chris, the sponsors of the white jersey, a solidarity initiative in this edition of the Tour to help young people in